get away from Maley, and here comes Crabchuck. Heading over the Oiler line, a wrist shot. Blocked at the Edmonton defense by McIver. Now Goulet held it in. Got it around the board. Chelios centered one. They score! Hawks win! Jeremy Roenick tipped it in. Hawks win in overtime. JR gets the game-winning goal. A tough chance. A hot pass from along the board, which Roenick tipped in past a helpless Bill Ranford, and the Hawks swarm around Roenick. They lead the series now 3-0. The headlines in the papers say it all. The Blackhawks have a stranglehold on the Campbell Conference Finals. Ed Belfour mirrored the move to the team yesterday as they headed off to practice, because 1 + 1 will equal 2 the finals, and the Hawks can clinch a trip to the Stanley Cup if they win one tonight. Live from the Northlands Coliseum in Edmonton, Alberta, it's Game 4 of the Campbell Conference Finals. Hello again, everybody. Pat Foley and Dale Talon as the Blackhawks attempt to do what no team has ever done in Stanley Cup competition, which would be win 11 in a row. The Hawks have a 110 to tie the all-time playoff consecutive win streak record, and if they can complete their second consecutive series sweep, they will have done something that has never happened before. And really, after a season in which there were lots of questions raised, maybe not as many answered, all of a sudden things coming together at the right time.
Well, they built this team for this particular situation. That's what it was all about. 17 trades, numerous new players, Brent Sutter, Steve Smith, Stefan Matteau, people like that added to the roster because of their playoff experience, because of former Stanley Cup championships with other clubs, and bringing a winning attitude to these players that have not won, and the combination of the team becoming familiar with each other and solid defense and timely scoring, and as a result, they've got a chance to sweep the Edmonton Oilers.
Timely scoring is just what Edmonton was given from Jeremy Roenick, and Ted Green really gave the kid a compliment, talking about a great skilled player. He can't hold him down forever. He almost liked to see that it happened to such a good kid, too.
Well, he loves Jeremy Roenick, having played for the Boston Bruins and spent most of his years there. He realizes that Roenick is a tough competitor and a throwback to the old days, and he buries the winning goal on a great feed from Chris Chelios. Only fitting that the two top players combined for the winning goal to give the Blackhawks an opportunity to go to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time in 19 years.
Two top players who maybe will be contending for the Conn Smythe Award for the MVP in the playoffs. There's a lot of time to go before that will be decided, but the guy who set him up there, Chris Chelios, has a better plus-minus rating than anybody in the postseason right now.
He's been averaging 32 minutes a game of ice time, too. He and Steve Smith have been brilliant together. He's timely scoring, great defensive play, and he's been a leader on and off the ice.
Meanwhile, statistics often do not tell the whole story, and the Blackhawks have two guys in which that is very much the case. No goals and 1 assist in this series for both Brent Sutter and Dirk Graham, but the Hawks would not be in the shape they are without these two.
Well, in Game 3, Sutter at center with Graham and Matteau on the wings, by far the best Hawk line. They had pressure on the Oilers every shift they were out there, and they didn't get any points, but they were responsible in a big way for the win.
Meanwhile, with the Oilers backed into the corner, Ted Green once again saying it's really not up to him to motivate his team. At this point, he has to rely on the individual to get himself ready to play. One guy who's come in for high praise from the Edmonton coaches, veteran center Craig McTavish. He's got 2 goals in the series, and Ted Green wishes everybody would be as ready to play as he always is.
McTavish has been their best forward by a mile. He really is an active guy. He kills penalties, takes face-offs, blocks shots, does whatever it takes to win, and he's been one of the few bright lights for the Oilers.
Also, a guy on his line has also come in for consistent praise from the Edmonton coach, and that's Kelly Buchberger, who's really begun to find his role on this team.
Well, Buchberger had an outstanding year and has been solid in the playoffs. Did a great job against Jeremy Roenick. They've tried different matchups. Buchberger appeared to be the only guy that could stop Jeremy Roenick, except he didn't stop him in overtime when it counted. But Buchberger is a much improved hockey player with a lot of grit and determination.
The Blackhawks know that the Edmonton Oilers have a lot of proud people who have had a lot of success here, and Ted Green has got to hope that whatever is left in the Oiler tank, they'll spill their guts on the ice tonight.
Well, they have to play more than one period of hockey, and it seems in the first period throughout this series they've scored 6 of their 7 goals in the first period, but they've been outscored 13-1 in the other periods, including overtime, by the Blackhawks. They need to find a way to get 20 guys going for 60 minutes.
The Blackhawks go for 11 in a row, 2 straight series sweeps. Nobody's ever won 11 straight in the Stanley Cup competition. Game 4 between the Hawks and the Oilers in a moment.
Sports Channel's exclusive playoff coverage of Chicago Blackhawks hockey is brought to you in part by your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Old Spice, cool, crisp, and clean. It puts the wind in your sails. By RCA, ColorTrack 2000 Home Theater TV. RCA, changing entertainment again. By the Discover card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. By Budweiser, the king of beers, with that clean, crisp, cold taste. Nothing beats a Bud. And by your Chicagoland, Northwest Indiana Pontiac dealers, who invite you to test drive their exciting line of 1992 Pontiacs.
It's the first week of spring training, and a bunch of nice old ladies show up.
Say cheese. Wonderful.
Nice, until we started working out.
You call that exercising?
Hey, Grandma, I don't see you doing it.
We finished?
In your dreams, homeboy.
Finally. Cold buds for everybody.
Attaboy.
Mid-Con Baseball Madness hits high gear with the championship game. Tune in Saturday at noon when the Midwest Best battle it out for the conference title. Find out who will emerge #1. It's the Mid-Con Baseball Championship, Saturday at noon, here on Sports Channel.
Yeah, we're on TV.
We are.
Just dawned on me.
Did it?
Who gets you rocking at the crack of dawn?
Party on.
Who keeps you talking? No time gone. Bob, Allison, and Roberta make the morning come alive. Wake up, Chicago. Start your day out right. First thing in the morning on Channel 5.
Unbelievable it's on TV.
Chicago Blackhawks are 11-2 so far in the playoffs this year, including 5-1 on the road. And Dale, they have learned many lessons over the last 12 months. A very painful lesson with the elimination in the opening round last year. One of the lessons they've learned this year, the premium they put on ending a series as soon as possible, has served them well to this point, and they would like to go back to Chicago without the need to play another game in this series.
Combined with that, you don't want to give Edmonton any life at all. They're down. You've got to keep them down. You've got to come out and have a good game and forget it. Just go like it's a one-game series and have to play your best and let the chips fall where they may. But it's very important for them not to back off and allow Edmonton to get back into this series with a win and get some momentum.
Bill Ranford has been an absolute star to this point for the Oilers. The Blackhawks in the first 3 games have 100 shots on goal. At the other end, the Oilers have managed only 57 shots against Ed Belfour. Well, Bill Ranford will hope that all of his teammates will be going tonight. That's what the Oiler coaching staff have been lamenting, the fact that only 10 to 15 guys every night seem to be at the top of their games, and they will need all 20 rip-roaring in this one. And one of the leading candidates for postseason honors, should the Blackhawks continue on, is the Chicago boy, Chris Chelios, who has just been spectacular with a heavy workload, and it seems that the more he plays, the better he gets. Well, the Oiler crowd here trying to get their team revved up as we get ready to enjoy the anthems.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. When the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the hope of that race. runners strong and free. From far and wide, oh Canada, we stand bodyguard for thee. God heal our land, glorious and free. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Oh Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
The referee for this game 4 will be the man who observed game 3 here, Andy Van Helleman, has the red stripes on his sleeves tonight. The linesman Gord Brossiker and Kevin Collins.
Ed Belfour with 10 straight wins, looking to set a record for most consecutive wins as well as for a goaltender. Jerry Cheevers and Ed Belfour have that record. Bill Ranford 8-7, 3.25 goals against average. He's been under siege most of this playoff series and has been outstanding.
Yeah, one thing we have yet to mention is the fact that the Oilers will be without one of their better blue liners. Craig Muni suspended today for 2 games by the league office for his what was deemed to be an attempt to injure, as he stuck his leg out and put Greg Gilbert out of the Hawk lineup for a couple of games. So Muni is out of the Oiler lineup because of that 2-game suspension. Replacing him will be Craig Howgood in the Oiler blue line. Now the draw is shot into the Edmonton zone, and Dave Manson feeds Tikkanen up the left wing board. That's it, Tikkanen. And to dump it in, he did. Belfour strays to the corner, sweeps it around to Chelios. Looking to clear. Tikkanen kept it in there, but his pass deflects. Back out to center ice, and Manson has it there. David McIver, whose pass winds up deep in the Hawk zone. Steve Larmer with room up the right side. Now carries to center. Larmer dumping it in there. Luke Richardson picks it up for the Oilers, put it to the near side. Buchberger got a rough ride from Keith Brown. The puck rolls free back into the Chicago ice. Larmer on it. Got away from McTavish. Steve Larmer up the left side. Tees up a long shot. It didn't get through Richardson. Now low. Got a big hit from Larmer behind the net. And the puck lays into the corner as Larmer scurries for it there. Got it loose to Goulet. Michel Goulet sent it. Larmer. Big save by Ranford. Great work from Larmer and Goulet, and Ranford had the answer at the minute-and-a-half mark. Back come the Oilers. Low. Leaves it along the far side. Now in behind to McTavish. Keith Brown tried now. McTavish had a shot now. He walked in too deep. He couldn't get control of the puck. It never did shoot it. Finally, Belfour will be able to smother it, and Martin Jellin with a glorious chance. He just couldn't get the puck where he wanted and never did shoot it.
Well, Bill Ranford comes up big with a save on Larmer on a feed from Goulet. And then Jellin on the feed from McTavish comes back and never gets the shot away as Belfour forced him to a poor angle. Ranford kicking it away as Larmer tried to go low to the glove side. And McTavish with a one-handed pass that deflected right to Jellin. Jellin waited. Belfour didn't give him anything to shoot at. And finally the shot hit the side of the net and Larmer gave it for Belfour to freeze it. But good hit. Good start for the Blackhawks. Physical start, taking the body at every opportunity, something they've been doing with regularity throughout the playoffs.
Jocelyn Lemieux got a big hit from Glenn, but then Steve Smith carried on, puts out to center where Noonan carries it over the Oiler line. Brian Noonan's wrist shot, and Ranford steers it away. How good. Put it to the far side, up over the glass, and into the crowd. We have more news from the league office regarding the future of the president, John Ziegler. We'll tell you about it in a minute.
Some people just know how to fly.
Flying? Flying?
I'll show you how to fly.
Set a goal and they aim it high.
Excuse me?
This is flying.
You guys call that flying?
Just know how to fly.
Maybe. They call that flying. Wrong. Northwest is flying.
Fly north Northwest. 47,000 people bringing you the best on-time performance in the country.
Just underway in Game 4. Mike Keenan said it, the more games you have to play at this level of competition, the more situations there are and the more susceptible to injury you become. So the Blackhawks feel that it's critical to end this series tonight. Here's the draw in the Edmonton zone, trickling into the slot, the Oilers there. And out to center they come as MacIver flips it into the Hawk zone. Now along the far side, held by Glenn, shooting. Oh, he just missed the far post with that. How good, a wrist shot, blocker saved by Belfour, rebound to the near side. And the Oilers, Scott Thornton into the Edmonton lineup for the first time in the series, shot it behind the Hawk net. Here's Graham, bumped in the corner, but he held the puck. Gave it to Shelley. Oh, Graham really got a rough ride behind the goal as Thornton brushed him. But the Hawks clear it back into the Oilers zone, and this will be icing against Chicago. Some major hits delivered from both teams in the early going.
Teddy Green putting in Scott Thornton, the former Maple Leaf. A big burly winger with a good hit on Dirk Graham after Glenn had a good check in the offensive zone and a good shot from the point that was just wide. Thornton gets Graham and just nails him.
But Graham, as he has done all series, willing to pay the price to take that play. He cleared the puck as he was going. He knew he was going to get leveled. Still willing to make sure he got the puck where he wanted to. Nichols and Hudson now to the right of Belfour. Bernie Nichols gets the draw to the near corner. Down Flus, looks to center. Here's a drive. Belfour the save and the long shot from MacIver. And Hudson coming out. Ike Hudson scooping it in behind the Oiler net. Ranford gave it away to Lemieux in the corner. Then he couldn't find the handle. And sent down Flus. Guarding Edmonton away. He'll dump it in, hoping for Murphy, but Belfour with a good read out there first. He couldn't clear it, however. Back into the corner it goes, and Cam Russell able to hoist it back into the center ice area. David Benson back over the Hawk line. Cleared it in behind the goal. Russell able to backhand one the other way. And MacIver will put the touch on it for an icing call against Chicago. We played just 3.5 minutes here in Game 4 in Edmonton.
Recycle my used oil? I wouldn't know how.
I don't have time to recycle all those plastic bags.
Hazardous waste? Well, that's the mechanic's problem, not mine.
Do your part to protect the environment. Look for the We Care sign. It says that wastes are taken care of properly by Safety Clean, the world's largest recycler of contaminated fluids. When it's this easy to keep the environment clean, there's no excuse not to.
Jack Davison on the left and Peter Wirtz just flying in for this game. See the Blackhawks possibly set a record for the franchise. 11 straight wins they're looking for.
He'd like to bring home a little hardware, too, which would be the Campbell Conference Trophy if the Hawks can pick up a victory here tonight. Here comes Keith Brown off the draw. Heading help from Michel Goulet. Long feet right on the money to Larmer. Got around low, cutting it along, shooting. Ranford got the legs together in time. Great feed from Goulet and an equally good move from Larmer. But Ranford shut the door again. Oilers dump it in. McTavish beaten to the loose puck by Goulet. Clearing it past Lowe. Out to the center ice area. Oilers dump it back in. Here's Kravchuk. Igor Kravchuk to Michel Goulet. Now Sutter. Brent Sutter. See they get in behind the Edmonton net. The Hawks complete a player change. The Oiler captain Lowe feeds Jelena. He clears it to center ice and a two-line pass. Whistled there.
The Hawks have had two great scoring chances in this game. Both of them the stick of Steve Larmer on great feeds from Michel Goulet. First shift, Larmer had a great chance. His last shift, then a nice pass up the middle from Goulet. And a good individual move by Larmer to beat a very solid defensive defenseman, Kevin Lowe. Larmer streaking up the middle of the ice. Goulet looking for him the whole time. Right on the money. And then Larmer, a fake to the right, went left. Got Kevin Lowe flat-footed, went to the dot, tried to go through the legs, and Ranford makes another save on Larmer.
Chris Chelios dumping it into the Edmonton zone. And Brian Gwynn looks to clear. Chelios held it in from Matoa. Bouncing puck. It was at his feet. He couldn't locate it, and the Oilers come out 3-on-2. Here's a lead for Maley, who couldn't hang on to it cleanly. Puck rolls loose in the Hawk zone, and Sutter is on it. Away to Graham. There's Graham over the Oiler line, weaving, trying to feed Matoa, and again the pass a little behind him. And we're going to have a penalty on the play as Chris Chelios comes to the Hawk bench as if he was high-sticked or elbowed. It is an elbowing penalty against Klima. The Blackhawks get the game's first power play.
I'll be seeing you in all the old familiar places all day through. I'll find you in the morning sun, and when the night is new, I'll be looking at the moon, but I'll be seeing you.
Peter Klima has been pretty quiet in this series. He gets an elbow into the face of Chris Chelios. First penalty of the night at 4:41. The Blackhawks are 4 for 17 in this series and 15 for 85 overall, which is 10th in the league.
Sutter, Roenick, and Larmer on the Hawk power play. Brown and Kravchuk are the point men here. Here's the draw, and Kravchuk rolled it to Keith Brown. Takes a look, then puts it up the boards to Larmer. Steve Larmer, top of the ring. Hanging on, side of the net to Sutter, looking for Roenick. A shot right on, and a great save by Ranford. Rebound taken by Buchberger. He sweeps it out to center ice. Great passing there by the Hawks, and a point-blank chance for Roenick, thwarted by the continued great play of Bill Ranford. Back in the Oilers zone, low knocked down by Roenick, then Ranford comes out to play it, couldn't get away from Sutter. Out to the far point, Kravchuk moves it across to Keith Brown, whose pass is picked off by McTavish, and he shot it to the Hawk line. Jeremy Roenick looks for Keith Brown. He gets through a couple of checks, rolls it ahead to Rob Brown. Bouncing one in behind the Oiler net. Manson on it with plenty of time. And clear. A minute to go on the Hawk power play. Keith Brown knocked down by Buchberger, or down Foose rather, but his pass re-stolen, and Brown is hurt. Here come the Hawks over the line. Noonan put it in behind the net. Keith Brown is still down in the Chicago zone. I'm not sure Van Hellemond has noticed it. Now he does, and Brown grabbing as if it's his elbow or shoulder, giving him a problem. He might have fallen awkwardly.
Well, that looks like a dislocation. Brown is in a lot of pain. He stayed down for the longest time, and his shoulder seems to be out of position, and he knows more than anybody. He just fell awkwardly and fell on his own, and I don't know what happened, but Jeremy Roenick got hit after he let the shot go, got whacked on the power play. He's in the slot, gets a shot away, and got high stick right in the face, and Van Hellemond never made the call. Brown just fell on his own. He tried to get away from Dan Foose, and
Keith Brown has gone right to the Chicago dressing room, and Dr. Lewis Kolb is there with him, and boy, the longest serving member of the Blackhawk team, should they get to the finals, boy, you have to hope that he'll be able to participate. He's suffered through a lot of losing.
Didn't appear to go down that hard, but he looked like he landed on his elbow or shoulder, and he's in a lot of pain, obviously, but he was trying to elude the check, fell on his own, and fell to the ice.
One more rush on the Hawk power play. Here comes Chelios feeding Steve Smith, who hammers it in. All the way around the boards, Chelios moves it across to Smith. They play catch. Now a touch pass to Larmer on the near side. Dave Larmer hanging on to the corner. Roenick, he cuts for the net center. Smith in there deep. He couldn't find the handle. Now a shot and a save on Sutter. Rebound cleared to the near side. And Teakin in there to send it not out. Chelios held it in. The Oiler penalty now is over. Both teams back at full strength. As the Hawks again keep it in the Edmonton zone. Larmer bounces one for Sutter. Manson put the hook on him. Now they wrestle in the near corner for it, and Klima able to jam it loose. Not out. Held in to Larmer, whose pass is picked off, and finally the Oilers shoot at the length, and this will be an icing call against Edmonton. We played 7 minutes in a scoreless first period in Game 4.
We'll be going back to Pat and Dale in Edmonton in just a few moments, but we want to take this opportunity to tell you about what we've got coming up during the first intermission right here at our Sports Channel studios. First of all, we'll check in on the White Sox, see how they're doing in tonight's game against the Toronto Blue Jays. We'll also go back up to Edmonton, where Dale is scheduled to talk to Hawks defenseman Keith Brown. We'll also take a look at the Hawks' upcoming playoff schedule. All that and much, much more coming up during the first intermission. But now it's time to go back and finish off the first period. Here's Pat Foley and Dale Talon.
In the driver's seat, obviously needs one more win to go to the finals. With a troubled look on his face with Keith Brown, probably lost for the remainder of this game. We'll have to go with 5 defensemen.
Here's a long shot from Russell, and Ranford got a piece of that with the glove. And the Oilers look to clear. Kravchuk kept it in there. Then Lemieux looks to center. Ranford got in the way of that. In the near corner, Lemieux jammed it loose to Mateau, back to Lemieux. Oh, and he just shanked it wide. Good give and go. Now Russell, a shot up off the glass. Bouncing to the near side, Kravchuk held it in. Now Lemieux wrestles the board along the boards. And the Oilers come up with it. Howgood cleared it to the far side, and Murphy got a rough ride. Graham knocked him flat, and back into the Hawks zone it goes. Lemieux to Mateau, whose pass is picked off, and the Hawks unable to advance it. Now Smith will dump it in, and on a delayed offside call, the whistle sounds.
Well, the Blackhawks really intent on forechecking and taking the body, hitting every Oiler in sight. Bernie Nichols getting away with a cross-check after he was hit cleanly and hard by Stefan Mateau. He reacted with a cross-check. Van Helleman letting them play. Graham on Murphy. Mateau on Nichols. A good clean hit. Nichols gets up, takes exception to the hit, and gives him a cross-check right in the back. And it was let go. But Bill Ranford keeping the Oilers in this one. He's made half a dozen excellent saves in the first 7 minutes.
And Bernie Nichols has no more use for that stick. Nichols has 2 goals in the series, but only 6 shots in the first 3 games. His line mates have fared no better. Joe Murphy, 1 shot in the first 3 games of the series, after getting 30 in the first 2 series. Vincent Danfus has 4 shots on goal in the first 3 games here, after getting 40 shots in the first 2 series the Oilers played. Here's Mark Lamb, airing over the Hawk line. Trying to move in on Chelios, nothing doing. It's Chelios. Bounced it out of the corner. Noonan bumped, couldn't get it out. Thornton's long shot all the way through to Belfour, and he stopped it in a scramble, and now able to cover it up. And Belfour, I don't think, ever saw that until it hit him. He's able to locate it and cover before the Oilers could get any wood on it.
Belfour has made a couple of good saves on screen shots. Oilers going to the front of the net. Thornton, after Manson pinched in, took his spot, snapped the wrist shot with Mellanby and Smith in front. Belfour made the save and then froze the puck. Well, we get news from the Blackhawk locker room that it's an apparent separated shoulder.
Oh, I hate to hear that. The Blackhawks on the verge of doing something they haven't done in 2 decades, and their longest serving player, Keith Brown, suffering that injury early in this game. Face off to the right of Belfour.
Sometimes the shoulder is just on the verge. It's probably was injured before, and that knocking it on the ice probably did the rest of the damage, because he didn't go down that hard.
Has had some shoulder problems in the past, and maybe a recurrence of one of those old injuries, but what a shame that a great guy like that is likely going to be out for some time. The play's in the Hawk zone. Jelena poked it in behind the net. Russell is on it, looking for Roenick. Richardson coming around him. Roenick fought off the hit, but failed to clear it. Now Kravchuk does. And they wrestle along the near side in front of the Oiler bench. Kravchuk able to bounce one deep. And Luke Richardson has it for Edmonton. Give it to Kevin Lowe. Nearing to Kelly Buchberger at center. In on Smith. Steve Smith played the body and Chelios played the puck. Gave it back to Smith. Steve Smith to the Oiler line. Trying to move up the slot. He did. He shoots. And the save. Rebound Brown. He scores. Rob Brown gathered in the loose change and buried it after a coast-to-coast effort from Steve Smith. And the Hawks lead 1-0.
Great team. Chelios and Smith combining. Buchberger hits Chelios. Chelios gets the puck to him deep in the corner. And Smith, with the boos getting louder and louder as he carried the puck up the ice, went from blue line to blue line through the middle of the defense, got the shot on Ranford, who made a great save, and then Rob Brown fell in behind and snapped a wrist shot just under the crossbar. He made no mistake while he was being hooked from behind by Peter Klima.
Rob Brown's second playoff goal in as many games in this series. Steve Smith and Chris Chelios will get the assist at 9:35, and the Blackhawks have the early lead. Now Chelios able to clear it to center. Klima in traffic looking for Howgood. He couldn't handle the pass, and now Lemieux battles his way up the boards. And tied up in front of the Hawk bench, and everybody wrestling there. And the whistle sounds. We are halfway through the opening period in the Northlands Coliseum. Rob Brown's goal has the Hawks in front.
Looks great. But come on, I mean, you know, you could have gotten yourself another BMW or a Lexus.
I suppose. But why? This had everything I wanted. Power, great handling, ABS.
Yeah, but
airbag, leather, everything. I couldn't see spending 10, 20,000 more for what?
Who makes it?
Pontiac.
Now at your Pontiac dealer with special Smart Buy financing, you can buy a new Bonneville for just $379 a month.
Well, we thought the Oilers would be flying out of the gate. It's been a great first period, a lot of action, but the Hawks' best first period maybe of this series. They've had 8 shots, all of them quality chances on Ranford. One has gone in. The Hawks flying out of the gate in the first 10 minutes. Very physical start.
Dave Manson also came in for, almost caught Belfour out of the net. Looked like he's going to dump it in and shot it toward the goal. Then he almost left prematurely. Just stuck out the left pad at the very last second. Now deep in his own end, Cam Russell in traffic gets help from Kravchuk. Kravchuk's long feet on the money to Larmer, but a 2-line pass, the linesman, and the whistle sounds.
Well, Dave Manson's got a great shot, and he can score from pretty well anywhere on the other side of the red line and in, and he almost fooled Belfour. Belfour sneaking out of the net thinking it was going to be a hard dump in around the near boards, and Manson let it rip right on target, almost inside the far post. Manson at the red line, and he's not moving. He's almost standing still and almost pumped it into the net. That'll keep Belfour in the crease a little bit longer. Won't be anticipating any dump-ins.
Here's the big Oiler line that has been fairly silenced so far in the series. Nichols, Murphy, and Danfus, and Peluso and Murphy have problems right before they drop the puck. We mentioned it earlier. Nichols has 6 shots in the first 3 games. Danfus 4. Murphy 1. 11 shots for their top 3 offensive players in the first 3 games.
Only 6 points in this series combined. They had 51 points in their first 2 games, our first 2 series.
Mike Hudson shooting one in there. Ranford cleared it to the near side. Chelios kept it in. Bounce one in behind. Hudson there. And a move in front, centered it. Peluso couldn't find the handle. The Oilers do, and it's cleared out to center ice. Danfus Carries it over the Hawk line looking for Nichols. He had his stick lifted by Chelios. Then Hudson took a run at him. He's going to get a penalty. And the Edmonton Oilers are going to get their first power play chance of the night. Mike Hudson goes off. 9 minutes left in the first. 1-0 Chicago.
In a stressful world, discover WNUA 95.5, a smooth, unique way to relax. Your escape from ordinary music. Smooth jazz. Unique music for unique people. WNUA 95.5.
Mike Hudson gets the first Blackhawk penalty at 11:04 of the first period for cross-checking. Ernie Nichols was tied up by Chris Chelios. Chelios tried to sneak the puck from behind him, and then Hudson gets the stick up, and a cross-checking penalty on Mike Hudson. 0 for 14 in this series for the Edmonton Oilers. Great penalty killing by the Blackhawks. And 10 power play goals against Los Angeles, 4 power play goals against Vancouver, and no power play goals in this series.
We get word that Keith Brown has gone to the local hospital here to have the shoulder further checked. Here's the draw taken by Danfus. Tees it up, shoots, and shot it wide. Nichols didn't want anything to do with Chelios, who won the puck and cleared it. Dave Manson's long pass, an errant one. Oilers will have to try again. Here's Tikkanen behind the net. Up the middle to Murphy. Chelios a good read on him, and the Oilers have to circle back. Now Tikkanen slowly to center. Looks for Murphy. Lost it as he got the line, and Chelios shoots it down all the way after Steve Smith stood up beautifully there. Vincent Danfus works his way into the Hawk zone. Weaving to the near side, then shot it around the boards. Murphy in the far corner. Leaves it there. Belfour out to play it. Looks for Chelios. He passes it to himself off the boards. Gets away from traffic and feeds Larmer. What a move by Chelios. Now Noonan in on Tikkanen. Got around him, cuts in, and down he goes. And the play allowed to continue as Manson gave it to Tikkanen with 45 seconds left on the Edmonton power play. Greg Howgood over the Hawk line. Takes it in behind the net. Now Russell got a bump from Mellanby, and Scott Mellanby tries to center. Goulet in front of the net to steal it and clear it to center ice. Now the Oilers right back in. Howgood goes around the boards with it. Kravchuk on his backhand, clears it down all the way.
Good job by Belfour to come out of the net and interfere with Mellanby. Got his body in front of him, left the puck for Kravchuk.
Rolling it into the far corner. Belfour out to play this one. Got it to Roenick. He clears it down all the way, and that does it for the Hawk penalty. Both teams are back at full strength. How good. Hits it over everybody's head. The race is on. Jelena gets in there trying to shoot. He's knocked down by Chelios. The play goes on. In behind the net. 4 players dueling. Now it's controlled by Chelios, feeding Goulet. Michel Goulet dumping it in, hoping for Graham. He gets to it in the far corner, centering Goulet. Had to peel off, and then it's cleared back to the neutral area. And on a delayed offside, as Lowe and Goulet had trouble separating, the Hawks whistled for the offside call. 1-0 Chicago.
Chicago. The time has come. The Cavaliers must go. The 1992 Chevy Cavalier. At this price, we're confident they'll be gone in no time at all.
With the injury to Keith Brown. Chris Chelios is going to get even more ice time than he's averaged in the playoffs. 32 minutes a game he's been averaging. He has 16 points with an assist tonight. He needs one more to tie Pat Stapleton's record for 17 points, most by a Blackhawk defenseman in the playoffs.
Steve Smith will dump it in. Lemieux to the corner. What a rough ride there from Lowe. Looked like he jammed his head right into the glass. Now it's dug out. Hudson to Lemieux. He shoots. And a save by Ranford. And Jocelyn Lemieux can't believe it.
Banging and crashing results in a scoring chance. First Lemieux, then Hudson. And Chelios reading the play, came in, got the loose puck. Hudson got it back out front to Lemieux, and Lemieux with a bouncing puck off the skate and snapped it all in one motion. And how did Bill Ranford make that save? Brilliant save. Ranford has been outstanding.
9-3. The Oilers have been outshot so far in this game. And none of those 9 shots Ranford's looked at have been easy chances.
Well, one has gone in, and the other 8 were quality chances. Larmer's had 2, Roenick with 1, Sutter with 1, Cam Russell had 1. Steve Smith's rebound resulted in a goal, and Lemieux just on that play from Hudson.
Now the draw. Hudson rattles into the corner on Lamb. Around the boards it goes, and Peluso and Mellenby crash together. And then Lowe in there to gather in the loose puck. And Kevin Lowe starts the Oilers back. Lowe flipping it in. Peluso on the far side. Just rolled it past Mellenby to center. Scott Mellenby on the right wing board. Carries it over the Hawk line, put it to the late coming Lamb. He couldn't kick it to the stick. There'll be a penalty coming up here against Chicago. Edmonton goes to the power play.
Well, that arm of Van Hellemond went up before the hook was even initiated. And Sutter's going to be sent off. And the Oilers will get their second power play of this period, their second straight. They didn't get a shot on goal. And they're 0 for 15 in this series. The penalty coming at 14:34. Mellenby with the pass to Lamb. Lamb was just hooked slightly by Sutter, and the arm went up before the hook was even initiated. So a very big penalty killing situation here for the Blackhawks, up by a goal. Do not want to give Edmonton any chance of momentum. They're obviously in very good shape, even if they do get out of this period tied, but a one-handed hook. Lamb was off balance on his own trying to get to the pass, but
Nichols, Murphy, and Danfus with Manson and Tikkanen. Graham and Larmer for Chicago with Smith and Chelios. And here's the draw to Manson over to Tikkanen. A one-timer up off the glass. Rebounding to Chelios. He couldn't get it out. Danfus into the corner. Nichols has room. Center one. Here's the drive. Belfour. Great save with the blocker. Then it got a piece of the post. Another shot gloved by the Eagle. And he holds on.
A great pass, nice touch pass from Manson. After the Hawks got caught on the near side, Chelios got caught up high, a lot of room below, and the touch pass to Tikkanen. Tikkanen got all of it on the one-timer. Off the blocker and off the post, the outside part of the near post.
Nichols and Larmer will go after this draw. And Murphy and Smith have had several little shoving confrontations on this Oiler power play shift. They bump a little bit here again, and now the draw to the corner, and Smith is surrounded, gets help from Chelios. Gave it to Graham, clearing. Vincent Danfus. This is one between two teammates, stolen by Smith. And the Oilers have to regroup. Tikkanen. Here's it to center ice, and Murphy puts it over the line. Downfus on the right side. Centered one. Murphy peels off with it. Then left it for Downfus. Got it to Murphy along the boards. He's surrounded. Chelios steals and clears. Chris Chelios.
He's everywhere.
Boy. Now here's a lead. There's going to be a two-line pass if Nichols touches it. He got a bump from behind from Smith. He knew it was coming, and Smith is the man who wound up on the deck, and a big smile from Smitty looking up at Nichols. I think he was surprised that Nichols was so braced for the hit.
Steve Smith's a big man. Nichols not the biggest guy at all, and he was set for him and had the shoulder into him, and down went a surprise Steve Smith.
Dale, I said earlier there was more news out of the league office today. The 2-game suspension to Muni was one piece of news. The other news comes from the president, John Ziegler, who says that he met with the chairman of the Board of Governors, Bill Wirtz, to review the contractual situation that he has. Bill Wirtz and John Ziegler have agreed it is time now to discuss with the Board of Governors the matter of succession in this office. So the way being paved, it appears, for a new president of the National Hockey League. Here's the shot right from the draw by Larmer, going wide. So there has been some speculation about the future of Bill Wirtz as chairman of the Board of Governors. That remains up in the air. And it is sounding like John Ziegler is going to be replaced eventually. There's going to be a committee appointed to draw up a list of candidates and review the whole matter. 20 seconds for the Oiler power play. Howgood gets the line on the far side, in on. Russell turns behind the wraparound. Belfort just got to the near post in time, and he holds it. Now Russell and Mellenby shoving, but that's all for now, as Kevin Collins was there in a hurry.
Well, Greg Howgood, we saw him in the Vancouver series. He's got great speed. The little defenseman just picked it up in his first game of this series, flying down the right wing, the far side. Russell couldn't catch him, angled him off in behind the net. Belfort, good read. He knew it was going to be a wraparound attempt. Howgood, the former Bruin, played most of the year in Cape Breton, and he tries the wraparound. Belfort, with great flexibility, was able to get his pad up against the post and make a good save on Howgood.
When's the last time you tried to move like that?
20 years ago.
And they still carried you out. Now the draw in the Hawk zone.
As long as I can bend over to pick the ball out of the hole, I don't care.
Penalty is over now, and both teams are back at full strength. Howgood leads Buchberger. Crisscrossing as he gets the Hawk line. Kelly Buchberger in on Russell, tries to center, and too far. Here's a shot by Howgood, deflecting wide out of a maze of players. Finally, Goulet will safely clear it back the other way, and the Hawks will gladly take an icing call here with some confusion in their own zone.
The Hawks going with 4 defensemen. With the injury to Brown, Marchman has not had a shift. Cam Russell getting used with Kravchuk. Bonus again on Chris Chelios. He's going to have to play at least 40 minutes tonight.
Somebody said today Smith and Chelios don't really seem to play that much, only when there's a power play or penalty killing or even strength situation.
Or a critical situation. Or an important face-off in your own zone.
1-0 Chicago with 3 minutes left in the opening period. Here's the draw, and Chelios has it. Chris Chelios got tied up. Sutter there to help, however, and slipped it out to center. Dave Manson. His pass stolen, and the Hawks dump it back in there. Esa Tikkanen on the left wing boards, banks it perfectly ahead to Maley. David Maley's pass hit the leg of MacIver, and now Brent Sutter carries it over the line. His pass picked off by Tikkanen. Steve Smith able to knock into the ice or yank him to the ice. The play continues as Larmer behind the net. Got away from his check. Out to the line. Chelios with a long wrist shot. The save made by Ranford and the rebound. They're back into the Chicago zone.
That was a good save by Ranford because Goulet was right there for the rebound and it scooped over his stick.
Hawks flip it in, but we're ruled to be offside on the play. Michel Goulet knows there will not be a lot more chances to play in the Stanley Cup Finals, and he is just loving this opportunity.
And he is not at 100% again. He's limping off. He's still having some problems with that stomach pull. Got hit hard after he dumped it in on that delayed offside by Richardson and limps off. 6 points for Goulet in 4 playoff games. Did not play much in his first playoff game and final game against Detroit.
Richardson able to send it ahead to Lowe, and he puts it to Jalina racing it on the left side. Jalina trying to cut in. Kravchuk said no, and the puck to the doorstep where Belfour covers.
Well, Kravchuk with good mobility. Jalina's a speedy winger, and Hawks got caught in deep. Kravchuk playing the right side, playing the left side, but most Europeans are very comfortable playing the off wing or the off defense position. And he was able to turn and put the hook into the speedy Jalina and ride him into the corner boards as the puck went to Belfour. Fast pace here in the first period, only 1:47 seconds remaining. Hawks with a 1-0 lead and a goal by Rob Brown.
You touched on it earlier, but the Oilers' main success offensively in this series has come in the first period. Of the 7 goals they've scored, 6 have come in the opening period of play. So situation tonight does not bode well for the Oilers. If the pattern holds, here comes Danfus, stick handling on Chelios. Danfus trying to cut in, then centered one and started with good coverage, but he couldn't get it out. How good right in, and a save by Belfour with a lightning quick glove, and he hangs on.
A tough shift for Brent Sutter. He had the puck in the Oilers zone, made a blind pass that was picked off, which enabled the Oilers to come out of the zone and counter, and then his clearing attempt banked off the boards right to Howgood. Howgood tried to go high, had time and room. Belfour with his best glove save of the series, left no rebound. Belfour very confident in the net tonight, as he was in Game 3. That was his 7th Oilers shot.
Here's the draw. Only controlled by Kravchuk. Trying to feed Larmer. It hopped over his stick back the other way, and the Oilers put the touch on it for an icing call with 70 seconds left in the opening period.
We mentioned that Ed Belfour has won 10 straight in the playoffs, tying Jerry Cheever's record of 10 in a row.
And nobody else other than Cheever's even close.
These are the Blackhawk goaltenders. 4.
Here's the draw taken by Russell. And Russell put it into the Edmonton. On the far side, Murphy goes across to Nichols. And this pass at the feet of Danfus, who's able to locate it finally and kind of flip it ahead. Nichols picks it up, looking to center. Belfour picks it off and holds it.
Hawks had everybody back as Nichols drifted away and tried to put one in to the late coming Danfus, but Belfour beat him to it. Danfus, 4 shots, 2 assists. Need better production than that if you're going to win in this situation in the playoffs. Murphy's another one who's had very little offense. 6 points total for that line. 3 games. Hawk top line though, Roenick, Goulet, and Larmer, they have 20 points in 3 games.
often has been the matchup. So the Blackhawks with a decided edge when they put their top guns against the top snipers of the Edmonton team. Norm McIver in the neutral zone to Esa Tikkanen. Tikkanen flipped it ahead, picked off by Graham, sending it the other way. 20 seconds remaining in the opening period. McIver. Nowhere to go with it. Just bounces one to the Hawk line. Chelios there. Shot it the other way. And that's going to do it for the opening period. Well, the Hawks get the only goal in the opening period tonight.
The Hawks are certainly happy to have the lead at the end of one period of play, but of course Mike Keenan and the coaching staff have to be concerned about Keith Brown. As Pat said, Keith Brown is now getting x-rayed to see how severe the damage to his shoulder might be. Of course, Blackhawk fans are hoping that it may be a mild separation. Who knows, maybe Keith Brown will be able to play some more during the Stanley Cup playoffs. As I mentioned, the Blackhawks have the lead 1-0 at the end of one period of play. It was the Hawks' other Brown that got the first goal, but it was a great effort by Steve Smith, bringing the puck all the way up, got the shot off, the rebound came right out, Rob Brown put it away. The Blackhawks had a 1-0 lead after that goal by Rob Brown. Rob Brown's second goal of the playoffs. Chris Chelios also gets an assist on the goal at 9:35. As for the shots on goal in the opening period, Blackhawks outshoot Edmonton 10-8. We're at the end of one period of play from Edmonton. The Blackhawks trying to wrap things up. They lead Edmonton 1-0 after one.
The RCA 8mm camcorder is so small and light, you'll take it everywhere. That way you won't miss a thing. And when you go from one subject to the next, it focuses instantly. Like we say, you won't miss a darn thing. The RCA 8mm camcorder. Another way we're changing entertainment. Again.
These and other RCA home theater products are available at Aronson Furniture, home of the Credit Connection.
Most guys kick back on the weekends. Jack, on the other hand, good. So, how do you feel?
Ready to rock and roll.
Only one beer has the taste as genuine as the people who drink it. Budweiser.
Tomorrow,
we're sleeping in. The King's in double trouble. He's got double inventory, so he's giving double discounts on over $10 million in new 92 Nissans and Dodges. This week only, the King's ordered huge price cuts plus factory incentives on over 500 new and used Nissans and Dodges, with new 92 car prices starting as low as $71.50. All colors, all options, immediate delivery. The King's in double trouble, so you get double discounts. No money down, no reasonable offer refused during the King's double discount days this week only. Ray Harris, King Nissan, King Dodge, 5757 West Dewey and Niles.
Berlin's House of Tools. We know tools like the Bosch SDS Super Drilling System. These Bulldog rotary hammers provide hard-hitting performance with power and versatility. Or Bosch percussion hammers. From our compact models to the big guys, these are the breaker hammers to have. Bosch power tools have all the extras you need to get the job done. Bosch, quality you can hold on to.
We go out of our way for our customers. Make sure you get the right tool for the right job. Come into Berlin's, where we know tools.
Berlin's House of Tools in Palatine and Lombard.
In Edmonton, the Blackhawks own a 1-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. We're going to take a moment now and check some of the other sports news of the day. Maybe some good news for White Sox fans about catcher Carlton Fisk. He could be back in the lineup on Monday when the White Sox play their annual Windy City Classic game against the Chicago Cubs. The Sox will take a look at Carlton and see how he's playing then, and the plan after that is send him down to Sarasota for a rehab assignment. So Carlton Fisk may be back at Comiskey Park very, very soon. The White Sox are playing tonight against the Toronto Blue Jays, and you'll be able to see that game coming up tonight on Sports Channel following our coverage of the Hawks and the Oilers. Our next Hawks game, well, on Hawk Vision, it could come up on Sunday night if the Oilers can win tonight and force a Game 5. If the Oilers can't do that, and if the Pittsburgh Penguins sweep their series and wrap it up tomorrow night against the Boston Bruins, the Stanley Cup Finals would begin on Tuesday. We'd have Games 1 and 2 here on Sports Channel next week. Game 3 would come up on Hawk Vision 1 week from tomorrow night. Remember, that's only if the Penguins sweep. That's the best we can do right now. Of course, we'll know more as the Penguins and Blackhawks move along in their series in the conference finals. And as for Hawk Vision, remember, all you got to do is call your local cable company and say you want Hawk Vision, and you'll get Blackhawk playoff hockey live from the stadium. NBA playoffs tonight in the Western Conference Finals. The Utah Jazz are trying to stay alive. Well, they're not trying to stay alive. They're trying to stay in the series is what they're trying to do. And they look like they're in pretty good shape. They lead Portland by 6. That game is in the fourth quarter. The Blazers won 2 games at home. Now the Jazz are playing at the Delta Center where they are undefeated during the playoffs. We've got much more to come your way in this intermission. When we come back, we'll have a special look at one of the Oilers' best defensemen, Kevin Lowe. Stay with us.
Sold.
Let's say you bought a painting. Let's say Van Gogh's sunflowers. Let's say you used the Discover card. You'd have a little money coming back. Because with the Discover card, every single charge earns an annual cashback bonus.
Nice.
It pays to Discover, the card that pays you back.
Can I actually get more truck for the money?
Yes! And a great deal? Yes! Today? Yes!
Right now, your Toyota dealers say yes to everything. A big selection, really big savings, the year's best deals.
Yes, we can.
Your Toyota dealer is putting it all together. Big dealer discounts, option package savings, flexible financing, and immediate delivery on 10,000 new Toyotas.
They said yes, and I saved $2,000.
See your Toyota dealers today while they're saying,
yes, we can!
If you're looking into faucets, Peerless means plenty. America's leading do-it-yourself faucet. In hundreds of styles and finishes. All made with solid brass valve construction. And all warranty for as long as you own your home. The best made, best back do-it-yourself faucets in America. That's what Peerless means.
British Airways brings 24 million people together. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
The Utah Jazz are on the board against the Portland Trail Blazers. A final from Salt Lake City, Utah in '97. The Portland Trail Blazers 89. The Blazers lead the series 2-1. Keith Brown was scheduled to be our intermission guest during this period. Obviously, he can't do that because he's in getting x-rayed on his shoulder. We apologize for not having Keith with us, but we're going to tell you about some of the guys who play defense for Edmonton now. There's only one member of Edmonton's first Stanley Cup championship team still with the Oilers. In fact, he's the only member of the Oilers who has a ring on all 5 fingers. Kevin Lowe was and is a member of the Oilers dynasty of the 80s. Sports Channel's Mark Connolly has more.
Kevin Lowe is the original Edmonton Oiler. The first player taken by the Oilers in the NHL draft. He scored the Oilers' first goal in the league. He's the last left from the Oilers' first Stanley Cup. And this year, he's the last left in the playoffs. Most of his former teammates have been eliminated.
I'm sure they'd all like to be playing, yeah. I mean, I know they enjoyed playing in the playoffs as much as I do, or as much as anybody has or does. And, you know, if you're referring to Mark, you know, the Rangers are real close, and they could be where the Penguins are right now. And I know Gretz, unfortunately, has had to go through our team the last couple of years, and probably has regretted that. But they'd all like to be on the ice. And, yeah, I think about them at times.
The last time the Oilers were down 3-0 in a series, they lost the Stanley Cup final to the New York Islanders. Lowe is using that experience tonight.
I mean, you muster up whatever you can, and whether that be experience or to be motivated or whatever the case may be, you try to prepare yourself in a positive way. And in reference to this having happened in the past and it didn't turn out well, it's completely different. I mean, we lost the first 2 at home, and we went to the island and played the next 2. I mean, we're on our home ice, and we haven't lost very many games in the playoffs at home, so I envision a real strong game out of the club tonight, and hopefully a win, and we'll see what happens.
This season has seen Lowe go through a year of injuries to his shoulder and his knee, but he's fought back to play.
Since Kevin got back out of the injury lineup and back onto our team in L.A., our
our team rose up several levels. And a lot of players have a great deal of respect for Kevin. They like to see him on the bench. They like to see him in the lineup.
It's a great time of the year. I mean, I couldn't envision any other place I'd rather be than playing in the playoffs. And with a great bunch of guys, we've worked our rear ends off, and we're going to continue working our rear ends off.
We'll go back to Edmonton for analysis from Pat and Dale when we come back.
Season after season, the resale value of a Honda Accord stays up better than most any other car in its class. And now, with a more powerful engine, greater fuel economy, and a driver's side airbag standard, the 92 Accord once again has no competition for value or price. Good news, because after all, money doesn't grow on trees.
Face Edmonton. All right, here we go now. Live from the stadium. Only on Hawk Vision. Order the games on Hawk Vision now. Rock your house. Call your cable company.
It's the Campbell Conference Finals. Catch Game 5 between the Hawks and Oilers Sunday at 7.
Lebeau's knows men.
Lebeau's knows women. Lebeau's knows kids.
Lebeau's knows price. Selection.
Lebeau's knows shoes.
Chicago Cable Advertising will offer an exceptional opportunity for Chicagoland businesses to advertise in the Cable Guide. Target your finest prospects with a consistent message that'll be referred to each time the subscriber refers to a listing. Stretch your advertising dollars and let the Cable Guide help your business grow today. For more information, call 708-699-9494 or 312-471-3888. The Cable Guide, the magazine everyone's watching.
Going into this game, one would expect the first goal of the game would be important for the Oilers to get. They didn't get it. Rob Brown of the Blackhawks did. Hawks lead a 1-0 end to 1. Now for the analysis of the first period, let's go to Edmonton to Pat Foley and Dale Talon.
Thanks, Jim. It is 1-0 for the Blackhawks. It could be a lot worse. Bill Ranford, every save he made was a quality chance of the Blackhawks, really, with a rip-roaring start.
Well, they're very physical. They weren't sitting back at all. They want to win this game badly, it looks like, and you couldn't ask for a better start, except that Bill Ranford sort of stymied them a bit. Steve Larmer had some quality chances, but a coast-to-coast rush from Steve Smith. The boos got louder and louder, and he got more aggravated, it seemed, and he made a brilliant move. Split the defense. Great save by Ranford, but an excellent shot from Rob Brown on the rebound. That was a lone goal of the period. The goal at 9:35. Steve Smith did everything he could, and Rob Brown finished it off with a good, high, hard one.
And that was the only goal of the period, but as we said, Bill Ranford was just outstanding, and it was a great give and go that he stopped Lemieux on.
Chelios to Hudson, kick to the stick from Lemieux, and Lemieux let the one-timer go, and I don't know how Ranford made that save, but Ranford robbed Steve Larmer twice. He stopped Roenick from point-blank range. He stopped Brent Sutter. He stopped Cam Russell from the deep slot. A very good first period for Bill Ranford. Very good first period for the Blackhawks. They're obviously in very good shape.
The Oilers not without their chances, though. Ed Belfour might have had as many tough stops in any single period in this series.
Made a couple of quality saves on Howgood and a couple of screenshots from the point. He was able to fight off and make the save. So Belfour very confident as well.
In the first 3 games of the series, only 1 goal total in the final 2 periods for the Edmonton Oilers. They're going to have to do better than that tonight. They trail the Blackhawks 1-0 after 1. We're back with the second in a moment.
Each year, Consumer's Digest magazine analyzes all the new automobiles. This year, not 1, not 2, but 3 new Buicks were named Best Buys. Park Avenue, the most advanced luxury car Buick has ever built. Roadmaster, powerful, roomy, substantial. The all-new LeSabre, America's best-selling full-size car. Now get low 2.9% GMAC financing on every Buick, or up to $2,000 cash back on selected models. See your Better Buick dealer today.
Not that old lawn equipment again.
Last year he nearly jerked me up by the roots.
Wait a minute. All new home light equipment.
I told you he knows a great value when he sees one.
Look, it's a home light blower and a string trimmer.
Yes.
A home light hedge trimmer and chainsaw and a new home light mulching mower.
I love it when he gets environmental.
Just a little off the top, please. Do it right. Do it home light. Enter the Home Light Hot Hoop Sweepstakes. You could win a trip to the 1993 All-Star Game.
It's the first week of spring training, and a bunch of nice old ladies show up.
Say cheese. Wonderful.
Nice, until we started working out.
You call that exercising?
Hey, Grandma, I don't see you doing it. We finished?
In your dreams, homeboy.
Finally, cold buds for everybody.
Attaboy.
Cool, crisp, clean. Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
It'll take sweat to get that dream afloat. So Old Spice deodorant works to stop odor before it starts by killing odor-causing bacteria on contact. 99%. Old Spice deodorant. It does a number on odor.
Rock your house with Hawk Vision throughout the 1992 home playoffs. To bring the stadium home with you, call your local cable company. If you have a satellite dish, call Primetime 24 at 1-800-248-2028. Be sure to call an advanced order by the round. Our next Hawk Vision game, if necessary, will be Sunday when the Hawks and Oilers would play Game 5 of the Campbell Conference Finals. If the Blackhawks should win tonight, all the home playoff final games will be on Hawk Vision. And if there's a Game 5, it'll be live at 7 on Sunday at 7:20 on WBBM.
Rob Brown's goal, the only one so far in this hockey game. 10-8, the Hawks had a slight shooting edge in the opening period. And Sutter, Graham, and Mateau open up against Maley, Klima, and Tikkanen. Shot in behind Bill Ranford. He leaves it there, and Manson almost coughed it up to Mateau, and then it is captured by Graham. Near board to Sutter. His long shot didn't get through. Sutter gets help from Graham, coming out of the corner with the top of the ring. Here's the shot. Ranford, the rebound. Oh, what a save on Sutter's rebound chance. Now Graham had the puck hop away. Klima coming out. Tikkanen over the Hawk line. Offside, though, was Klima. And Bill Ranford, too. Terrific stops here in the first half minute of the second period.
Brent Sutter, snake bitten. He just can't seem to get a goal past Bill Ranford. Great rebound opportunity there, but Ranford just beat him to it. There's Graham with time and room. Turnover. Gets to the top of the circle, lets it go, and then on the rebound, the shot by Sutter just trickling under the stick of Ranford and wide of the far post by an inch. Oilers have scored 6 in the first period of the 7 goals they've scored. The Blackhawks have outscored them 13-1 in the next periods.
Nichols looking to down Booth with a long shot. He beat Belfour but sailed it just wide, and Rob Brown cleared it ahead 2-on-1. Roenick with Larmer in on Lowe. Roenick cuts into Larmer. Lowe with a great deflection of that pass, and the Hawks have to regroup at center. Excellent work by the veteran captain of the Oilers, Kevin Lowe, to thwart a 2-on-1 from the two most dangerous Hawks forwards. Now here's Larmer, and Lowe picked his pocket before he could pull the trigger. Here's Roenick trying to battle out of the corner. He did, but the puck rolled off the end of his stick as he tried to shoot it. Held in by Kravchuk. Oilers in trouble here. Kravchuk, a shot saved by Ranford. Rebound to Edmonton. And Nichols able to bounce it ahead to Murphy. Joe Murphy over the Chicago line, left it for Lowe. Turning at the near point, throws it to the late man Nichols, and he eludes him. Goulet quickly back, looks for Hudson, who went down as he crossed the line. Goulet carries on, fires, and he shot it right through Ranford, who got a piece and trickled it just wide. And now the Hawks look to keep it in. Marchman did. Brian Marchman against down boost to the corner. Puck bounces up over the glass, and now the net comes off off the moorings, and Bill Ranford putting palms upward. Where is my team?
You see something like she has a gift. My girl.
Mel Gibson. Danny Glover. Joe Pesci. Lethal Weapon 3. Directed by Richard Donner. Rated R. Now playing.
Plan a private party for 20 to 1,500 people in the Kingsford Charcoal Patio area at Comiskey Park. For more information, please call the White Sox sales office at 312-924-1000. White Sox baseball. Good guys wear black.
Blackhawks certainly not sitting back, protecting a one-goal lead. Comes storming out of the gate in the second period. Rob Brown, 2-on-1 situation. Kevin Lowe plays it perfectly. Textbook defense on two very dangerous players, not enabling the pass to get through. He read it perfectly. And then Goulet on the next shift with a turnover through Ranford and just wide of the far post. So Bill Ranford's had some pucks beat him in this series, but 4 different times he's had the puck get through him, but not into the net.
Greg Howgood dumps it in. Belfour out to plate, whiffed on it. But the Hawks were there, and now at the side of the net. Jocelyn Lemieux couldn't get it by Glenn, whose shot hit his own man McTavish and hurt him. Out to the far point, a long shot deflected, and a save by Belfour. McTavish is limping badly as he struggles toward the Oiler bench.
Brian Glenn does have a good shot. He's a big guy with a lot of leverage, and McTavish trying to skate it off. Gritty little guy, McTavish.
33 years old now, Craig McTavish, and we said it earlier, but Ted Green has said more than once in this series if he had 20 guys as ready to play as Craig McTavish is every night, the Edmonton Oilers would be in better shape than they are.
He's got a little out of position there. All 3 Hawk forwards on one side of the ice.
The draw out to the line. How good a long shot sailing wide. Dirk Graham got it by Glenn back into the Oilers zone. Scott Mellenby unable to clear it. Off the glass and out to center it goes, and Brent Sutter is on it there. Into the neutral zone. Mellenby turns back, beating Lamb over the line. Mark Lamb into the corner against Kravchuk, who took him off the puck. In behind goes Thornton. He's knocked down by Sutter. And they fall on top of the puck, drawing a whistle. 3 minutes gone in the second period. 1-0 Blackhawks.
Good morning, America!
Good morning.
Good morning.
Wake up, you sleepyhead.
Good morning to you and you and you.
Get up, get out of bed.
Every morning all across America, over 50 million people come to life with Delta faucets.
Live, love, laugh, and be happy.
Good morning, good morning.
Delta, the way water is brought to life.
Couple of the Blackhawk assistant coaches. Steve Williams is there keeping some stats with the headset. Rich Preston, the birthday boy, at the tender age of 40 today. And happy birthday wishes to Rico. I had the chance to meet his sister Donna last night, who certainly got all the looks in the family. And Donna wanted to pass along best wishes to her good friend Laura Preston. And we're certainly happy to pass it along. And also happy birthday to the Sarge. And I'll tell you what, Dale, I'm sure you'll agree what a great addition he has been to the Hawk coaching staff this year. And I think the proof is in the pudding here. The Oilers offside. And Rich Preston, a guy who played a lot of years in both the WHA and the National Hockey League and has brought that experience to the coaching duties with the Blackhawks, and really has done a great job in his first season.
He's a first-class guy. He was a first-class competitor and player, and he's a big plus, a big buffer and educator with these younger players. He's worked extremely hard with guys like Mike Hudson and Noonan.
Here's the draw now. Kevin Lowe the boards. Everybody hacking at it. It trickles loose to center. Richardson corrals it. Looks for Nichols. Feathers it ahead. Here's Murphy over the line. And behind the play, a problem.
Ryan Marchment, who had that cheek replaced, gets an elbow in the face, and it's only going to be a 2-minute penalty, but it should be worse.
It looked as if Marchment picked something up off the ice. I wonder if it's one of his teeth. It's 1-0 Hawks.
We can really get the Toyota we want.
Yes!
And a great deal.
Yes! Today? Yes!
Right now, your Toyota dealers say yes to everything. A big selection, really big savings, the year's best deals.
Yes, we can.
Your Toyota dealer is putting it all together. Big dealer discounts, option package savings, flexible financing, and immediate delivery on 10,000 new Toyotas.
We got a great deal. We saved about $1,500.
See your Toyota dealers today while they're saying,
yes, we can!
Ryan Marchment didn't play in the first period, but he's a tough individual. He takes a run at Nichols in the neutral zone. A clean hit, but Bernie Nichols elbowed him right in the face, broke a tooth, and cut his lip, and it's going to be a 5-minute penalty. Originally, Van Helmen wasn't going to make the call, but he talked it over with Collins and Brosiker, and then they called Marchment back, and Bernie Nichols still sitting there in amazement. So it'll be a 5-minute penalty and a game misconduct on Bernie Nichols. Nichols with the puck, and he just nails Marchment right in the face, punched him with the butt end of the stick, and that's a 5-minute penalty, and that's the way it should be called.
The Blackhawks will have a 5-minute power play opportunity. Remember back to game 3, this 5-minute situation, Dale, we have seen more games turned one way or the other because of this type of situation, a 5-minute power play. If the team that has it scores a goal or two, they often go on to win. If the team that short kills off those 5 minutes, very often they wind up winning the game. So an important situation here.
More important, though, for the Oilers. Even if the Hawks don't score, they've got a 1-0 lead in 3 games to none. They can finish them off right here if the power play is sharp.
Chelios up the left side to Sutter, shooting it in. Low, got a big hit from Roenick, but Richardson poked it to the near side. It's held in there by Smith to the corner. He got help from Sutter, then Smith was knocked down. Richardson has lost his stick. Here's the puck gathered in by the Oilers, and they come 3-on-2, but then Richardson doesn't have a stick. Taking it over the line. Center one, McKay picked off by Larmer. Ahead the other way. Here's Noonan 2-on-0 with Kravchuk. Noonan cuts in, shoots. Tried for the top corner and missed it. Ryan Noonan keeping it in to Chelios. And he got a high stick. That's going to be a penalty on McIver. And the Hawks are going to have a 2-man advantage, and Chelios, cross-check right in the face, is in agony on the ice. And Mike Gatzke is out there in a big hurry.
Well, Richardson and Lowe got away with penalties. They're furious. The others are fighting it, and they're losing control. And McIver cross-checks Chelios, and Chelios is still down. This is a deliberate cross-check. That's a 5-minute penalty as well. Whether they'll call it or not, I doubt it, with already a 5-minute measure on Nichols, but that's the Oilers losing control here. That was a cross-check right in the face, and Chelios is still down. Regardless of the situation, he's got to call it. If they're going to eliminate this kind of nonsense in the NHL, they've got to make the call.
But it appears that it's going to be a minor, and here we have the game situation dictating the call, and that is not the way it should be.
Not at all. He cross-checked him in the face. What if Chelios is lost for the remainder of this game and the rest of the playoffs?
Only going to be a minor penalty on McIver, who just almost took the ear of Chelios right off with a vicious cross-check. And that, I agree with you 100%. If this sort of crap is going to get taken out of the game, You can't let the game situation dictate how you're going to call the penalties. Andy Van Hellemond is the most respected official in the league and deserves that distinction. But here, because the Oilers are losing in the series and losing in the game, and they've already got a 5-minute penalty on the board, it appears that that's the reason that it's only a minor, and that was as vicious as anything you're going to see.
Lowe just tackles Roenick. Kevin Lowe. And then Richardson elbows Smith after losing his stick. So the Oilers losing their composure. The Blackhawks now with a 2-man advantage.
Two-man advantage for Chicago with a 1-0 lead. Here's the draw. Larmer off the sideboards. Hangs on to it. Put it to Kravchuk in the deep slot. Near circle to Roenick. Tees it up. Shoots. He scores! Jeremy Roenick fired it off the far post and in. And the Blackhawks have a 2-0 lead.
They get their power play on track. The first power play of this, first goal of this game on the power play at 4:59. Larmer, the Kravchuk. He fakes the shot, freezes McTavish. Sutter interferes with the defenseman. Mateau's in front, and the pinpoint accurate shot from Jeremy Roenick. Ranford standing up with the shot low to the glove side, inside the far post and in, and Roenick snaps it in. And Jeremy Roenick gets his 10th goal of the playoffs.
Kevin Stevens with 11 goals to lead the postseason goal list. And Roenick one behind now with 10. Here come the Hawks with a 1-man advantage. Sutter shoots it in. Larmer on the far side. Put it out to the line. Chelios across to Smith. Touch pass to Roenick, who shoots. And a save by Ranford. Rebound. Hacked at, but corralled by the Oilers. And then they clear it to center ice. Steve Smith shoots it in. Manson on it. It's help from McTavish. Then Rob Brown stole it. To Chelios at the line. Across to Smith. Up the near side. Taken by Noonan. Ryan Noonan side of the net to Larmer. Centered it. Rob Brown picked it out of midair, and Ranford still stopped it. And they say it was knocked down with a stick above the shoulder. And that will move the draw all the way back into the Hawk zone.
We saw Rob Brown knock one out of midair into the net in Game 3 on a feed from Michel Goulet. Almost does it again, but this time they ruled it was a stick above the shoulder. So the face-off automatically goes back into the Hawk zone on the power play. .255 remaining on the 5-minute penalty to Bernie Nichols. Power play goal here by Roenick with a 2-man advantage, while McIver lost control and cross-checked Chelios in the face.
Kravchuk with help from Chelios. Murphy right on in, bangs it off his stick. And now Goulet for Chicago. Clearing it around the boards, Ryan Noonan. Ahead to Kravchuk. He puts Goulet over the line. Goulet feathers one over to the far corner, taken there by Noonan. Kicked it away from Lowe to Rob Brown. Now Noonan again. In behind the net to Brown. Now Brown took a bump from Lowe, who poked it loose to Murphy, and he clears it. This Chelios. Gave it to Kravchuk. 2 minutes left on the Chicago power play. As the Hawks dump it in. All the way around the boards, Chelios keeps it in. Gave it to Larmer, far side. Takes a look, side of the net to Mateau. Back to Larmer, he tees it up, shooting, and a save by Ranford. Rebound Larmer, out to the line. Chelios moves it across to Kravchuk. His drive, Ranford stopped it. Rebound, clear to the near circle, taken there by Mateau. Trying to center one. Picked off to Glenn. Clearing.
Ranford with a terrific save. That shot was redirected by Roenick.
Now Larmer mounts one ahead over the stick of Roenick. Down the length. Icing will be called here.
The Hawks have a 2-0 lead. They need to maybe cash one in here with 1:22 to go, because you can bet that the Oilers are going to get a power play or two. Earl Sutter with 12 goals, a playoff record in 1985, and Jeremy Roenick with 10 goals, 2 goals shy of that. Roenick with 4 of these goals against the Oilers. 63 goals now. He just keeps adding to his total. He's scored more goals than any Blackhawk in history in regular season and playoffs, beating Bobby Hull's record of 58, I believe.
Now Steve Smith and Brent Sutter on his way. Nice feed ahead to Rob Brown, who's center one tip. They score! What a play by Noonan! Brian Noonan with a perfect pass to Rob Brown, who threw it back to him, and he tipped it in. 3-0 Chicago.
Brent Sutter, though, initiated the first pass across ice right on the money to Noonan, who gave it to Brown, the give and go. Noonan gave it to him, and Noonan went back to the front net. Had his stick hooked by Lowe, and in the process of putting it back down, the pass hit his stick and went into the net. What a pass from Rob Brown, who has the soft hands and feathered it right onto the stick of Brian Noonan, whose stick was coming down after being hooked from behind by Kevin Lowe.
5 goals in the postseason for Brian Noonan. Rob Brown and Brent Sutter will get the assists at 7:35. And there's still a minute to go on the Hawk power play. 2 power play goals for Chicago, one with a 2-man advantage, and this last one with a 1-man opportunity resulting from the 5-minute major to Nichols. McIver deep in his own end. Hit it to the far side. Now out to center and Murphy. Joe Murphy over the Hawk line to McIver. McIver poke check by Smith. And Steve Smith getting the Blackhawks organized in their own zone. He will continue to hear it every time he touches the puck from the fans who once cheered him lustily. Blackhawks dumping it in. Here's Graham taking a hit to make a play, kicked it into the corner, now gets it back. Dirk Graham. Tied up, it's poked loose. McTavish chasing after it. Elio's able to cut him off nicely and take it away. His pass didn't click. Now Graham does get to it, leaving for Kravchuk. Center tip, they score! A diving deflection by Mike Hudson off a great feed from Kravchuk, and the Blackhawks have a 4-0 lead.
Well, everything going right for the Blackhawks. Bad penalties by the Oilers and some unbelievable passing, resulting in 3 goals, 2 of them on the power play. This one coming as the penalty expired, or there's still 2 seconds left.
Nope. 2 seconds after the penalty expired, Mike Hudson taps in a diving deflection. He just sprawled headlong to make sure he got some lumber on that pass.
Kravchuk with the perfect pass. This Chelios took a hit to make the play, and then Kravchuk got it across. And Mike Hudson, full head of steam on his backhand, redirected it as he was crashing to the ice.
Now here's a lead for Rob Brown. The race is on. Brown gets the line, trying to cut in there. How good? Able to knock him down and prevent a shot. And Brian Flynn steers it back the other way. Now the Oilers doing what the Blackhawks did last year, costing themselves in the penalty department, and the Hawks making them pay. They scored 2 power play goals and then a third just seconds after the player came out of the penalty box, so in effect a power play goal, although it will not be an official one. And Rob Brown has a goal and 2 assists in the game. Kravchuk and Brown assisting Hudson's goal at 8:46. Mike Hudson scoring his 3rd of the playoff. And here's an icing call against Edmonton. We are halfway through the second period. The Hawks with a field goal in this period. They lead 4-0.
Right now, choose Ameritech mobile service with a quality Motorola phone, and you'll get $150 good for free airtime, or $150 in American Express gift checks. Good for anything you want. Gift checks or free airtime, plus free $35 activation. Got it? Get it. Only from Ameritech Mobile. Call 1-800-MOBILE-1.
Well, Mike Mike Keenan all along saying it takes 28 to 30 guys to win a Stanley Cup. Rob Brown played briefly in 2 games in the St. Louis series, and in his first 2 games of this series, or 3 games now in this series, he played the first game, played very well physically, didn't score, didn't play in game 2, but in games 3 and 4 he's accumulated 5 points.
That after sitting for 8 straight games after playing the first couple against the Blues. And he has come on with his best hockey of the season since he became a Blackhawk anyway. And the Hawks have the Oilers in a major pit right here. Mark Lamb to feed Thornton. He couldn't hold the pass, and Kravchuk, he got a rough ride, and Thornton hurt him. Kravchuk slow to get up in the Hawk zone, but here's a breakaway for Noonan. He shoots, he scores! Brian Noonan with his second goal of the game on a breakaway, and the Hawks lead 5-0. But Igor Kravchuk is hurt as he comes to the Hawk bench and doubled over in agony.
Scott Thornton's first game of this series. He's a big, strong winger, and he got Kravchuk with a good hit. And then Manson trying to stick handle at the Hawk line, stripped away by Rob Brown. He got it up to Noonan. Noonan pulled away and buried the wrist shot over the shoulder of Ranford. But Igor Kravchuk got the hit, took the hit, and limped off to the bench as the goal went in. The Hawks defensive core getting clipped and hit as the Oilers are losing their cool. On Tugnut, the backup goaltender. And the Blackhawks payback for the 3 times that they've lost to the Edmonton Oilers, especially in this building where they were humiliated a few times.
Try 11-2 in one instance. Oilers hit him with a couple of snowmen besides that, winning games 8-2 and 8-4 in different situations during postseason play. And here tonight, all Chicago with a 4-goal explosion in the second period because the Oilers just got carried away and going to be overly physical. It's cost them in the game, but it may have cost the Hawks in terms of some defensemen being banged up. 5-0 Chicago.
Great athletes always know where ESPN is. In your face. In your face. In your face.
In your face.
In your face.
In your face. In your face, mate.
ESPN your face. Sports fans turn to ESPN first because great sports are always
In your face.
in your face. ESPN. ESPN your face.
Brian Noonan scores goals and streaks. Scored a goal in game 3, and he scored 2 tonight. 6th goal of the playoffs. Rob Brown with a goal and 3 assists. Dave Manson trying to stick handle, loses it to Noonan. Brown picks it up and puts it right on the money with the great hands, and Brian Noonan does the rest. 1-on-1, and has snapped it high over Ranford's glove hand.
Meanwhile, Kravchuk has returned. It looked like he was
winded more than anything, Patty.
Well, that may have been. He was doubled over when he came off, but Thornton really a good clean check by Thornton. Nothing wrong with the hit, and Kravchuk looked as if it may have been something serious, but that's not the case. And now another Oiler penalty as Dave Manson heads off to the sin bin.
Well, frustration. I don't think the Oilers have been into a situation like this in a long time. The last time they lost 4 games straight, 1983, to the New York Islanders. Dave Manson, who's kept his cool throughout this playoff, has been one of the better Oilers, takes an elbowing penalty, and he gets Jeremy Roenick in the head. And the Oilers are headhunting here in this game, and this situation can develop into a nasty game. A 5-0 Blackhawk lead, and Van Hellemond is going to try and control it here because the Oilers are getting a little belligerent with their stick work.
Blackhawks did that very thing 12 months ago. And they have really, as a team, been unbelievable in terms of restraint so far in this playoff. Not just in this series, but right through. Here's Roenick cutting in. He shoots, and it's blocked by Lowe. Evan Lowe able to clear it back to center ice.
Kevin Lowe, 170 games in the playoffs, more than any other Oiler. He's been one of their better players.
Ellie Buckberger feeds Craig McTavish. Carries it over the Hawk line, trying to send it in front. Here's Lowe cutting in a backhander, and a save by Belfort. Rebound Chelios. Moving it around the boards. And Smith puts it ahead for Goulet. Goulet into the near corner. Taken by Noonan. Back to Goulet. Out to the line, and Smith doubles it back to Michel Goulet. Side of the net to Noonan, trying to center Teakin and Steele. Ahead to Klima. Peters Klima in on Smith. Steve Smith playing the body all the way, and Klima unable to get away from him. Marchment brought off a Glenn hit. And now the Hawks start away. 40 seconds left on the Chicago power play. Marchment gets the Edmonton line. In on Howgood. Cuts for the net. Shooting. Ranford the save. Gave a rebound. Rob Brown centered it, but it's chopped away from Goulet. Back into the Hawk zone. Steve Smith getting it from the Oiler fans.
His nickname was Moose.
Or Lou, anyway. Now Kravchuk, as the Edmonton penalty expires. Both teams are now back at full strength. Guess who's got the puck?
It was back on the ice again.
A very familiar sound to my partner. It's in the Oilers' zone. Bouncing puck away from Lemieux to Russell, who shoots. Ranford stopped it. Rebound Nichols. It's help from Manson. Both teams are back at full strength, and now Klima works into the Hawk zone. Stripped away by Kravchuk nicely, and Lemieux. Had Danfus coming at him, but saw him, and it was Danfus who wound up on the deck, and the Hawks dump it in.
Danfus got a shoulder and went down in a hurry, and then got up and slashed Lemieux.
Norm McIver. Bring it to the far side. Danfus. He shoots it in. Taken by Russell. Or Chelios. And then Larmer. Able to take a hit to make a play as he cleared it to center as he was knocked down. Here's Russell. Long feed, missing Larmer, sliding back the other way. It'll be icing against Chicago. 5.5 to go in the second period. The Hawks lead the Oilers 5-0.
I think we're back to the beginning. I'll tell you what they want. No, here's what they think.
I don't know. I think we were clear enough.
I'll tell you what they want. Let's see what they come up with.
Business relationships can go around and around, or they can go forward.
Hey, it's Jim. You got a minute?
Sure, Jim, I'm glad you called. Maybe there's another...
To stay on top, stay in touch.
Well, thanks for taking the time.
I think you saved us a lot of time. Thanks, Jim.
That's it. That'll make everybody happy.
The Blackhawk playoff record book being rewritten with every shift almost. Rob Brown, 3 assists in this period, ties the playoff record. Boy, Pat Stapleton had some terrific playoff years in 71 and 73. Chelios needs 1 point to tie his record for most points. Rob Brown needs 1 more assist to break the record with a goal and 3 assists. A goal and assist in game 3 as well for Rob Brown.
Well, we mentioned it the other night. Rob Brown's pop involved with the Kamloops team that won the Memorial Cup, emblematic of junior hockey supremacy in Canada. Robbie Brown trying to play Can You Top This? As the Hawks on their way, it would appear, barring an Edmonton miracle, to the Stanley Cup Finals. Here comes Mark Lamb over the Hawk line. Dropped it back. Lynn shot deflecting over the glass into the crowd.
Good play by Brian Marchment, sliding in front. And then Lamb was able to drop it to the late-coming Glynn, and while he was on the stomach, Marchment fully extended with the stick, was able to deflect the shot into the seats. Mark Lamb, another Oiler player that's given it his all every game. Ryan Glynn, playing on a sore ankle, scored in game 3. Tried to get one past Belfour, but Marchman, good second effort to deflect it into the seats. Marchman took a hit in the face early in the period from Bernie Nichols, which resulted in a major penalty at 3:44. The Hawks, the two-man advantage on McIver's cross-checking penalty, scored 2 power play goals. And they've added 2 more, one just after the power play expired, and a turnover at the Hawk line resulting in a Noonan breakaway. So 4 goals here in the second period, and the Hawks a 5-goal cushion.
Kevin Lowe, deep in his own end, goes up the right side. Tikkanen gets the pass, stepping into the Hawk zone on Russell. Takes a look, centered it. Here's Maley, and a save by Belfour. Rebound hacked at, and the Oilers, Richardson unable to keep it in, and Goulet comes away. Stepping into the Edmonton zone, his long shot, look out in the crowd as it deflects and sails upstairs.
Belfour makes his first tough save of this period. David Maley in his second game of this series. That's traveled David Maley. He started his career with the Montreal organization.
In a tough playoff year for David Maley. Jocelyn Lemieux got him for 9 stitches the other night with a 5-minute major infraction. He just whipped the stick behind and caught Maley in the forehead, clipping him for 9. In the previous series against Los Angeles, Tony Granato broke 2 of Maley's teeth with a butt end. Now deep in the Edmonton zone. Oilers, Nichols able to come out of there with it. 2 down Foose. Sent down Foose into the Hawk zone. Picks his way to the slot. Poke checked at the last second by Smith as he was ready to shoot it. And the Hawks send it back to the neutral zone. Hansen to Nichols. He steps over the line. Put it to Murphy. Back to Nichols. The shot. And a save by Belfour right through the legs of the defenseman. That shot went. Belfour a good stop. Now down Foose. Unable to get away from Kravchuk, and Mike Peluso sends it to the Oiler line.
Another brilliant game for Igor Kravchuk. He has 2 assists, and he's been unbeatable on the blue line.
Here's Klima trying to move in. Steve Smith stopped that effort with a nice poke check, and Stu Grimson the other way. He slips it in behind the net, then took a swing at Glenn, and this game goes along. Certainly the potential is there for more trouble. The Oilers getting very carried away, and the Hawks will hopefully suck it up and not try to retaliate. So far they've done that wonderfully. And the question is, how much are they going to be willing to take? It's late in the second. It's 5-0 Chicago.
If you're using a credit card to get a cash advance, you're probably getting soaked, because ordinary cards charge you interest right from day one, which is why you should use the Discover card. Just pay your full monthly balance and a small transaction fee, and we'll give you cash, interest-free, so you can avoid taking a bath. It pays to Discover.
Bill Ranford has been brilliant. He's given his all for his team, and takes a poke at Jeremy Roenick out of frustration. 13-4 the shot total in this period. 23-12. The Blackhawks just dominating the Oilers.
Kravchuk up the middle to Rob Brown. He couldn't get it out. Maley looking to center. Kravchuk there to steal that and clear it to the neutral zone. Tikkanen just left it there. Rob Brown flipped it ahead. Into Oiler ice. And Greg Howgood starting Edmonton back. Maley ran into his teammate Klima. Had to just get rid of it. Hawks dump it back in. Peluso chasing it. Had nothing to do with the puck. He took a run at Glenn as they bumped heavily. Now along the near side, they wrestle along the boards. Glenn put the clamps on Graham. Peluso has the puck. He's bumped by Maley. Peluso leaves it for Graham. And again, he and Glenn lock up. Brent Sutter in there after it now. Big scrum in the corner. Then Graham won the puck. Out to the line. Chelios. Here it comes. It's blocked to Peluso, a backhander. He had it deflect wide, and Tikkanen able to clear it to center ice. Here's Klima. Almost stealing from Smith, but not quite.
Well, that last shift pretty well an indication of the way this series has gone.
Goulet, a shot right on, and a save by Ranford. Goulet, the rebound in behind to Lemieux. It hopped away from him to Sutter. Leaves it for Jocelyn Lemieux behind the net. Lemieux working on Glenn, put it around the boards. Here's Marchman keeping it in. Back around to the near side. And the Blackhawks continue to win almost every battle along the boards. They win the puck probably 85% of the time when there's a scrum. Here's Lemieux centering a shot right on. Ranford stopped Hudson from point blank, and now the Oilers will just have to fire at the length and try to scurry off for a change. Into the final minute of the period as Goulet puts Lemieux ahead. Richardson took him off the puck. Now Lowe. Going to feed Luke Richardson, and he shot it to the Chicago line. Mike Hudson lifted to an open side. And the puck is corralled by Kevin Lowe with 20 seconds left in the period. As the Oilers dump it in. Here's Thornton trying to move to the front of the net, and he's centering. Here's a shot. Belfour the save. Russell's hurt. In behind the net. Thornton centered it, picked off by Belfour, and he hangs on, and Cam Russell has scraped himself up off the ice, but a little bit shaken up for the moment, it appears. Meanwhile, a stare down with Lowe and Grimson, but the linesmen very alertly get in between them.
Cam Russell with his back to Mellanby. Mellanby angles him into the corner boards, and those boards snuck up on Russell, got him in a poor angle, and down he went. The Oilers getting a good scoring chance because of this. One of the rare times that they've ever been able to forecheck with the aggressive hitting, but Mellanby gets away with the elbow, and Russell limps off. 3 seconds left, and the Hawks are 23.2, 20 minutes and 3.2 seconds away from their first Stanley Cup final in 19 years.
Grimson has been giving him misconduct. And Van Hellemond trying to keep a firm grip on the game wisely, I believe, here. Giving Grimson a misconduct as the second period comes to an end. A 4-goal explosion from the visitors to have a big lead.
With a 5-0 lead at the end of 2 periods of play, it seems like it's only going to be 20 minutes until the Chicago Blackhawks are on their way to the Stanley Cup Finals for the first time since 1973. The Blackhawks get 4 goals in the second period. 2 of them are power play goals, but 1 came at the tail end of a power play when the Hawks were really working with the man advantage. The only goal of the period that Rob Brown didn't have a hand in was Jeremy Roenick's goal at 4:59 of the period. Kravchuk and Larmer assist on that one. Then Brown assists on Brian Noonan's goal that made it 3-0. And then at 8:46, Brown assists on the goal by Mike Hudson that gave the Hawks a 4-0 lead. And then Rob Brown fed Brian Noonan at 10:37 for the 5-0 Blackhawks lead. Shots on goal through 2 periods of play. Blackhawks really starting to roll it up on Edmonton. It's 5-0 at the end of 2 periods of play. We'll be back with more right after this.
Chicago. The time has come. The Cavaliers must go. The 1992 Chevy Cavalier. At this price, we're confident they'll be gone in no time at all.
The taste of draft beer has finally evolved. Now there's new Golden Draft and Golden Draft Light from Michelob. The only draft beer is cold filtered and cold finished. The Michelob way. So now you can enjoy a smoother draft beer for the same price as ordinary draft beer. Knowing that, wouldn't you rather be holding a Golden?
Make sure you look your best with Richards Menswear, where we provide you with the finest selection of quality clothing, all at affordable prices. For example, Botany 500 suits selling for $295 elsewhere are only $165 at Richards. And Richards stocks sizes for all, from 36 short to 60 extra long. We're committed to quality and affordability, and we guarantee the best tailoring around. After all, what good's an affordable suit if it's not properly tailored? For fashion, fit, and affordability, Richards Menswear, Lee and Oakton in Des Plaines.
Over 50? Now you can take advantage of an important free public service to get fast answers about things that affect your financial and personal security. Answers to questions about your Social Security benefits, what Medicare covers and doesn't cover, what nursing home costs are in the Chicagoland area, and how much Medicare pays. Plus free literature on health problems like cancer, heart disease, Alzheimer's, and more. Stop by or call Bankers Des Plaines office, and Bankers will help you with the information you need. There's no cost or obligation for this public service.
After 2 periods of play, the Chicago Blackhawks are rolling toward the Stanley Cup Finals. They have a 5-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. The Blackhawks used a 5-minute penalty on Bernie Nichols to get a power play. Then Jeremy Roenick gets his 10th goal of the playoffs. After another penalty gave the Blackhawks a 2-man advantage, it was 2-0 in favor of the Hawks. The Hawks were still on the power play at the 7:35 mark when Brian Noonan gets his 5th goal of the playoffs, the assist by Rob Brown, 3-0. The Hawks had the lead. The Hawks still weren't quite done. The penalty to Nichols had just expired when Dirk Graham dropped it off for Kravchuk. He goes to Mike Hudson for the goal. I'm still wondering why Dirk Graham didn't get an assist on that goal. Anyway, it was 4-0. Blackhawks had the lead. Then Brian Noonan comes in. He tried to go high to the glove side on Ranford once before. Ranford stopped him, but that time Brian Noonan got it. 5-0. Blackhawks had the lead. That's the way it stands at the end of 2 periods of play. When we come back, we'll have a closer look at 2 of the major reasons why it appears the Blackhawks are on their way to the Stanley Cup Finals. Stay with us.
Get more truck for the money?
Yes! And a great deal? Yes! Today? Yes!
Right now, your Toyota dealers say yes to everything. A big selection, really big savings, the year's best deals.
Yes, we can.
Your Toyota dealer is putting it all together. Big dealer discounts, option package savings, flexible financing, and immediate delivery on 10,000 new Toyotas.
They said yes, and I saved $2,000.
See your Toyota dealers today while they're saying
yes, we can!
I think we should come up with a show.
How we did.
We did.
Who's got the trio and the coffee can for you?
No one's actually drank out of it yet.
Who's making something out of the morning news? Bob, Allison, and Roberta make the morning come alive. Wake up, Chicago.
Wake up, Chicago.
Start your day out right.
Hey, wake up.
First thing in the morning. On Channel 5.
Get it?
Got it.
Hey kids, how would you and some of your friends like to spend a day at the ballpark to see the Chicago White Sox play ball? Courtesy of Franklin Sports, maker of the official batting glove of Major League Baseball. All you have to do is send in a postcard with your name, address, and phone number. One winner will be selected at random from postcards received by June 1st. No purchase is necessary. You will also win a sporting goods prize package worth $300. Enter today and you can win a day at the ballpark from Franklin Sports.
Hey Hawk fans! Now you can purchase exclusive Chicago Blackhawks t-shirts through Chicago Stadium Sportswear Company. Wayne's World and Norris Division Champion t-shirts are now available for $20, and that includes tax and shipping. Both shirts are available in sizes medium through extra large. To order, call 1-800-245-4295. That's 1-800-245-4295.
As a general rule, teams involved in postseason play look to their veterans for experience and leadership. Here's a closer look at 2 Blackhawks who are providing just that. It seems a major part of the Chicago Blackhawks' playoff success can be attributed to a simple mathematical formula. Add this number 5 to this number 7, and the end result is consistent and often spectacular defense. Chris Chelios and Steve Smith, as a defensive unit, have become fixtures on the Blackhawks' blue line, and for good reason. Consider their qualifications. Both are atop the NHL playoff plus-minus leaders. Chelios at plus 14, Smith at plus 13. And they bolster a defense that has a 2.38 goals against average, lowest among playoff teams. While Chelios and Smith maintain a team effort attitude, their teammates are quick to point out just how valuable they are.
Well, they're just the backbone of the team right now. In order to win hockey games, you need a strong defense, and with guys like that are two of the best defensemen in the league, and guys that really know the game and know what it takes to win, it's really a building block for all of us.
Well, they're doing an outstanding job for us right now. They're playing an awful lot, and they're playing smart. They're they're setting a great example for everybody else on this team. Guys are running at them, and they're taking it and moving the puck up. They're doing everything so well right now. It's a pleasure to have them with us.
In addition to steady performance in the defensive zone, Chelly has shown a scoring touch around the net in the playoffs, recording 5 goals and 10 assists, including assisting on Jeremy Roenick's game winner Wednesday night. Those numbers put him 10th on the NHL playoff scoring list, tops among defensemen, and as his partner will attest, Chelios' efforts are definitely appreciated.
Well, I feel fortunate to play with Chris right now. He's one of the best players in the league, if not the best right now, and I think it's made my job a heck of a lot easier. I just sort of stand back and let him do the things that he does best and sort of clean up in behind him, and he's done a fabulous job for us, and as has the entire team.
Steve Smith plays an aggressive but steady game that has resulted in 1 goal and 10 assists for the 7-year veteran, who played most of his career for the same Edmonton Oilers that now stand between the Blackhawks and the Stanley Cup Finals. Smith's style of play is his strength, and consistency is the ultimate byproduct.
He's a great experienced defenseman. Very easy to play with. We're very similar. Maybe we take a little bit away from each other offensively because we wait to see who's going to jump. But defensively, I think we're getting better, and hopefully we can just keep improving.
Both Chelios and Smith have won Stanley Cups before. Chelios in 1986 with Montreal, and Smith 4 times, even though he only takes credit for 3, during the glory years in Edmonton. Whether or not they need to improve is questionable, but one thing is certain. Both of these guys would like to win another cup. Only this time, they want to win it together. And it appears Chris Chelios and Steve Smith may only be 4 wins from another Stanley Cup. Back with more after this timeout.
Quality is hitting the mark for Buick. That's the convincing conclusion of the Design Use Automotive Engineer Survey. Buick was ranked higher than any import manufacturer, with 2 Buicks among the top 10. Buick Regal, a lean and agile mid-size masterpiece. And Buick LeSabre, the car rated a best buy by both Consumers Digest and Motor Trend. Right now, get low 2.9% GMAC financing on every new Buick. Quality and value. They're putting your better Buick dealer on top.
First time ever, you can catch every punch, every stroke, and every dash of the Olympics. Because now, in addition to NBC coverage, you've got the power to choose between different Olympic events on 3 cable channels. Call 1-800-OLYMPIC for the Olympics triple cast of the 92 Summer Games and catch every moment. Catch the fire behind the flame.
Lifetime Television can help your business profits soar. Providing quality entertainment and information programming, Lifetime targets women with real purchasing power. By advertising locally on Lifetime Television, only on cable, you'll be reaching the desirable audience of women 18 to 49. Women who are active consumers. Reach the 90s woman and help your business grow. Advertise locally on Lifetime Television, the network women are watching.
Welcome to the Heidelberger Fass restaurant, where you will find the most authentic German and American food in the Chicagoland area.
For over 46 years, the Heidelberger Fass has served generations of customers the most flavorful and wholesome German and American food. We only use the freshest ingredients. Everything is homemade right here in our own kitchens by European-trained chefs. Visit us at the Heidelberger Fass. Your home away from home, 4300 Lincoln Avenue, 1 block south of Schmatthaus.
big second period for the Blackhawks, all because of a long power play. With more in the second period, let's go back to Edmonton to Pat Foley and Dale Talon.
Okay, Jim, the Edmonton Oilers taking a page out of the Chicago book of 12 months ago. Edmonton really hurting themselves by losing their cool and using their sticks a lot of times, and it cost them early in this period by putting themselves a couple of men short. The Blackhawks able to make them pay in the best way that you like, by putting the puck in the net.
Well, I think that's the fact that the Blackhawks have totally outplayed them, out-hit them, outworked them. They're getting frustrated, but the Blackhawks on a power play. Kravchuk fakes the shot into Jeremy Roenick. Mateau goes to the front of the net. Sutter's there as well. Screen shot inside the far post. 10th goal for Roenick at 4:59. It was 2-0. Then after Noonan made it 3-0. Some good passing by the Blackhawks once again. Dirk Graham gets to the puck, drops it to Kravchuk. Kravchuk slips it across, and Mike Hudson dives headlong. The deflected pass, Bill Ranford. Graham should get the assist on that instead of Brown. That was at 8:46. Then a turnover at the Hawk line by Manson, picked up by Noonan. Brown gets it to him, and Noonan goes in all alone, and Noonan goes one-on-one and whips it past Ranford for his second of the game at 10:37. And the Blackhawks up 5-0 with a couple of good power play goals, some good penalty killing, and some excellent passing, just finishing off the Edmonton Oilers in the first 40 minutes.
20 minutes separating Chicago from their first appearance in the finals in a couple of decades. The Blackhawks lead the Oilers 5-0. That Campbell Conference trophy is about to be theirs.
If you're looking for an economy car, we suggest the Pontiac Sunbird. It has an available 3.1-liter V6 and anti-lock brakes. In fact, when you consider everything, it's really an open and shut case.
Now at your Pontiac dealer with Smart Buy 3.9% financing, buy a new Sunbird with air and more for just $211 a month at your Chicagoland, Northwestern Indiana Pontiac dealers.
You will watch White Sox Weekly with Gene Lamont and me, Arnold. If you don't, I'll be back.
Some people just know how to fly.
Flying? Flying?
I'll show you how to fly.
Set a goal and they aim it high.
Excuse me? This is flying.
You guys call that flying?
Maybe. They call that flying. Wrong. Northwest is flying.
Fly Northwest. 47,000 people bringing you the best on-time performance in the country.
The Hawks face Edmonton. All right, here we go now. Live from the stadium. Only on Hawk Vision. Order the games on Hawk Vision now. Rock your house. Call your cable company.
It's the Campbell Conference Finals. Catch Game 5 between the Hawks and Oilers Sunday at 7.
Mel Gibson.
Hello, car 54, where are you?
Danny Glover. Joe Pesci. Lethal Weapon 3, directed by Richard Donner. Rated R. Now playing.
Along with Dale Talon, this is Pat Foley back in the Northlands Coliseum, where the Chicago Blackhawks are within 20 minutes of the Campbell Conference Championship. Their first appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals in nearly 2 decades. And within 20 minutes of an all-time NHL record of 11 consecutive Stanley Cup victories. Dale, I really like what Andy Van Hellemond did at the end of that second period, giving out a 10-minute misconduct to Stu Grimson, who was trying to stir things up and maybe dish out a little payback for what have been some extracurriculars from some of the Oiler players. And I think we can look for Van Hellemond to be very strict here in this third period if the situation should arise. Here we go with the third is down Foose. There's it to Nichols. Beating Murphy. Chris crossing over the line. He was poke checked. And the Oilers regroup at center. MacGyver dumps it in. Chris Chelios to the right wing boards, and Dirk Graham leading Mateau, whose pass is picked off. Nichols gave it to Danfus. Chelios got a piece of him, and it results in an offside call against the Oilers.
Steve Smith having another brilliant game and a brilliant series. He and Chelios blocking a lot of ice time, and a tremendous game again. Blocking the passing lane, standing up at the blue line, creating the turnovers, and it was his end-to-end rush that might have turned this game around in the Blackhawks' favor.
23 minutes out of the first 40. The amount of time that Smith has played for the Blackhawks. Here's Roenick, carrying it into the Edmonton zone. Kevin Lowe looks for Jalina. Got it to McTavish. Here into center. Buchberger couldn't find it. And Lowe's back in his own end. Luke Richardson. Leave it to Jalina on the left side. Jalina into the Chicago zone, dropped it to the late-coming Buchberger, who shoots, he scores! Kelly Buchberger, a wrist shot from the face-off dot up over the shoulder of Belfour, and it's 5-1 Blackhawks.
Well, this maybe might stir up the Blackhawks here, that goal by Buchberger. Neat drop pass at the blue line. Jalina cuts across, takes the defenseman Kravchuk with him. Buchberger comes in and just snaps it. Great wrist shot over the shoulder of Belfour under the crossbar, beating him to the short side. And there goes the shutout opportunity. A great shot by Buchberger, and it's a 5-1 Blackhawk lead. And a long way from over. The Blackhawks better keep up their momentum and continue to play in a smart way and an aggressive way.
Marchment moving it to center ice. Graham feeding Sutter. Sutter racing in on Murphy. Cuts for the net. Murphy knocked him down. Sutter still got rid of the shot, and Ranford stopped it. Jalina and Richardson assisting. Buchberger's goal at 1:23. Now Graham trying to flip it ahead. The puck came up and clipped Murphy, it looked like. And now the Oilers able to come out of there with it. Greg Howgood, 1 against 4, shooting, and he shot it up high. Now Maley keeps it in. Put it in behind the Hawk net, taken by Marchment. Mellenby stepped into him. Thornton got the puck. Scott Thornton battling with Brent Sutter. Oh, they whack at it behind the net. Lamb tries to center. Thornton into the corner. Scott Thornton against Dirk Graham there. Thornton has a jamming out. He was turned around. There's going to be a penalty coming up against the Blackhawks. Edmonton has scored early in the period. They will now get a power play. It's 5-1 Chicago.
The taste of draft beer has finally evolved. Now there's new Golden Draft and Golden Draft Light from Michelob. The only draft beer is cold filtered and cold finished. The Michelob way. So now you can enjoy a smoother draft beer for the same price as ordinary draft beer. Knowing that, wouldn't you rather be holding a Golden?
Steve Smith holding on to the stick of Thornton. The Blackhawks now are going to call a timeout, I believe. This is a big situation, though it's a 5-1 lead. Oilers get a power play right off the bat, and he wants Mike Keenan to get his troops a little wake-up call here. It's a long way from over. We've seen the Oilers come back, Pat, in the game against Vancouver. They were down 4-0. Well, that was early in the first period, and they battled back and almost won the game. And Smith draped around and held the shaft of the stick. Van Helmen puts it up, and Edmonton will get his third power play. They're 0 for 2 and 0 for 16 in this series, so they're due.
One change in the scoring, by the way. We said that Rob Brown had a goal and 3 assists. They did initially give Brown an assist on the 4th Hawk goal. That has been changed, properly so, to Dirk Graham. So the 4th Hawk goal is Hudson from Kravchuk and Graham at the 8:46 mark of the second period. And Robbie Brown now has a goal and 2 assists. But a very big situation here for this Oiler power play that has yet to score in the series. If they get one here, certainly a big lift for the home team. Here's the draw. Control by Chelios. Hammers it off the boards and out. It's McTavish, Buckberger, and Chalina for the Oiler power play with Manson and Howgood. Dave Manson looks for McTavish. He stepped away from Graham. Into the Hawk zone it goes, and Chalina circles along the far side with help from McTavish. Poke check beautifully by Kravchuk, who clears. Igor Kravchuk shining at the Hawk blue line again.
And he had to make a good play there. It was a man all alone in front.
Chalina back over the line. Into the corner with it. Leaves it there for Buckberger. Out to the line, Howgood tees it up, then moves it to Buckberger. Side of the net to Chalina. Chalina takes a look, had nowhere to go with it. Now Buckberger with help from Chalina. Out to the line and Howgood. Back to Martin Chalina. Plays catch with Howgood, who shoots, hit the goal post. He rifled it by the glove of Belfour, only to have it hit the pipe. Now on the far side, it's kicked loose to the line. Howgood scurries to keep it in. Greg Howgood, poke check, then McTavish held it in. He got rid of Larmer. McTavish cuts in, shooting. That's blocked by Kravchuk. Buckberger picks it up. 40 seconds for the Oiler power play. Chelios back of the net. Looking for Kravchuk, but Chalina locked him up in the corner. 4 players in there after it. It's poked loose to McTavish. He walks in front of the net. The shot deflected right on, and a save by Belfour. Then Buckberger took a whack, trying to jam it loose, and he paid the prices. Chelios lowered the boom on him.
And Belfour's hurt. That was a vicious slash by Buckberger, and it should be a penalty.
And it appears it will be as Van Hellemond heads toward the penalty box, and only now does that Belfour begin to move again.
And Belfour makes a good save on the shot that was redirected. Had the puck frozen in the crease. Buckberger goes in the crease and hacks viciously at him to try and keep it alive. McTavish's shot redirected. Belfour makes a save, and a vicious two-hander by Buckberger. Well, the Oilers taking some bad penalties in this game.
Belfour has had a word with Mike Gatsky and will need no further assistance, but Buckberger coming from left field with a two-handed slash. And we'll go 4 skaters aside for the next 23 seconds. Here's the draw taken by Marchment. Gave it to Sutter. And Sutter shooting it in, hoping for Graham. Kicks it in behind the goal. Then was hammered by Richardson. Now Sutter holds it in. Got it around the boards. Richardson chasing it down. Out to Lowe. The Hawk penalty is over. Here's a steal by Smith. He moves in. Steve Smith, the drive, and a save by Ranford. Rebound taken by Russell. Kevin Lowe is hurt in the neutral zone as the play continues. Now Lowe finally has gotten back into the play. The Hawks are on the power play as the Oilers' Nichols is able to clear it. And the Oilers get a full-scale change. Blackhawks also with some new legs out there. 1:10 left on an Oiler penalty. Steve Larmer shoots it in there. Roenick put it around the boards. Manson looks to clear off the glass, but Chelios did well to keep it in. Roenick in the far corner with it. Centering Mateau. Had it stripped away, and it's cleared to the neutral area. Kravchuk had his pass deflect. Here's Murphy over the line with a shot and a save by Belfour. The second shot on goal in this series for Joe Murphy. Now Foose in the corner, looks for Murphy. He's bumped by Kravchuk. Puck comes loose to Chelios. Time for one more power play rush for Chicago. Jeremy Roenick gets the line around Manson. Into the slot for Lemieux. It bounces away from him. And McIver cleared it. Mark Land deflects Smith's pass. Then Lemieux got to it. Perfect bank right ahead to Hudson. Wheels it over the Oiler line, but was ridden off the play by Manson. And McTavish shot it into Chicago ice. Both teams now are back at full strength. Marchment missing Hudson with a feed. It slides to length. It will be icing against Chicago. 6.5 gone in the third period. 5-1 Chicago.
There's change in the air. Big change. Fares with savings up to 50% in the U.S. United Airlines announces fare fares for business travelers, first-class flyers, and vacationers, too. Now when you fly, you'll find dramatic savings and exchangeable, more flexible tickets. It's our economic plan to lift the nation. From the airline that's uniting the world. United. Come fly the friendly skies.
Face off to the left of Ed Belfour. Rob Brown and David Bailey will go for it. Here's the draw. Taken by Maley in the far corner. Rob Brown able to take him off the puck. Good work from the Hawks. Brown as it's cleared back the other way. And this will be icing at Chicago. Meanwhile, mentioning Rob Brown, it reminds me that we understand Keith Brown is now back in the building. He did go to the hospital for a look after he fell to the ice and had to leave the game in the first period. The injury may not be as serious as was first feared, but we really don't have a whole lot of information on it. Obviously, any Hawk fan would have to hope that the longest-serving Blackhawk, who has never won the final game he's played in any season, would have an opportunity to participate in his first Stanley Cup final.
They've been playing so well, he and Kravchuk together.
Dave Manson on his own end, clearing it ahead, and Mellenby had to leave it go. Would have been a two-line pass. So Chelios deep in his own end. And into some traffic. Puck comes loose in behind the goal. And Chelios just muscled Mellenby right away from the puck, allowing the Hawks to clear it back the other way. And icing will be called here against Chicago. Nearing the midway point of the third, 5-1 Hawks.
It's like bumps and potholes don't exist.
Frankly, it's more comfortable than sitting in my living room. The longer you drive it, the more the little things impress you.
Yeah, it's really held on to its value.
When I put my foot on the pedal, it does just what I tell it to do right away.
I think it's easily the most luxury you can get for the money.
There are lots of good reasons to buy a Lexus LS400, and one good reason not to. Lease an LS400 at your Chicago area Lexus dealer today.
Brent Sutter and Greg Gilbert, former teammates with the New York Islanders, where they won Stanley Cups. Brent Sutter having an excellent series. He doesn't have the point production, but he's doing all the little things. At this moment, he's 22-4 in face-offs.
Roenick and Nichols will get ready for this one. The draw. Bouncing loose behind the net. Roenick gathers it in there. Feeds Mateau up the left wing board. Step on Mateau. Flipping it into the Oilers zone. Now held in by Brian Marchment. Looking for Mateau. Nichols tied him up. And Larmer dug it out to Roenick deep slot. Nowhere to shoot it. He had to flip it into the corner. Mateau after it there. Mateau got rid of a check now. Center one. Larmer too well covered in front of the net. And it's cleared back into the Chicago zone. Austin Lemieux's pass stolen by Nichols. For Murphy over the line. Murphy bumped by Marchment. Up loose behind the net. Belfour sweeps it to the far side. McIver holding it in, but he's locked up by Hudson. And they'll hold it there long enough for a whistle.
These next 11 minutes and 40 seconds will seem like an eternity for the Blackhawks. Interestingly, the Blackhawks have not beaten a Canadian team in a series in the playoffs for 14 straight times. Since 1963 was the last time they won any series. They beat Montreal and then lost to Toronto in the final. They lost 5 times to Montreal, 3 times to Toronto and Edmonton each, twice to Calgary and once to Vancouver.
Russell able to bang it loose to center. Greg McTavish going to flip it ahead. This is free to center and Jelena. Able to get it into the corner. They're out to play it. Now to the near side of Noonan. Sends it ahead. Hudson racing. He gets there. Hudson over the line. Looks for Lemieux. Centered one. Lemieux tied up nicely by Manson. That got hammered into the corner. Manson's going to get a penalty. And as the Oilers control, the whistle sound. Dave Manson taking another page out of the Oiler book. It's been consistent tonight.
We'll be sending you back to Edmonton for the conclusion of the third period in just a few moments, but we want to remind you that the Blackhawks and Oilers game tonight is just the first half of a big doubleheader tonight on Sports Channel. Coming up when the Blackhawks and Oilers are done, we'll be taking you to Comiskey Park, where Ken Harrelson and Tom Paciorek will have the call for tonight's game between the AL East leading Toronto Blue Jays and the Chicago White Sox. It's the first game of a 3-game series. Jack McDowell on the hill for the Sox. That's coming up after hockey, but now back to Pat and Dale in Edmonton.
Dave Manson gets a boarding penalty, and Lemieux goes into the corner. Manson gabs him and then just nails him. Gloves, elbows into the face and glass. And Lemieux takes the hit. Manson gets the penalty for boarding at 9:57. And this will be the 7th Blackhawk power play of the night. They're 2 for 6. The Oilers have had 3 power plays.
Sutter got the draw to Kravchuk, who tees it up, shooting, and a save by Ranford to Chelios. His drive. And it deflects up over the glass into the crowd.
Another face-off win for the Blackhawks, resulting in a shot on goal from Kravchuk. Ranford with the kick save right out to Chelios, and shot deflected by Ranford. 28-18 the shot total. It was a 2-to-1 margin in shots almost. 100-57 coming into tonight's game.
Chelios a long shot. Ranford the stand-up save. Rebound low. Oh, neat move away from Roenick. And he failed to clear it. Here's Roenick in the deep slot. Left it there for Chelios. Trying to center. Too far for Sutter. Back of the net it goes. Roenick walks in front. The backhander ran a save by Ranford. Then Sutter. And that shot, I think, was blocked by Lowe. And now the Hawks keep the heat on. Roenick against Lowe in the corner. Moves in behind the net. Gets help from Sutter. Leaving for Roenick. Near corner to Larmer. Steve Larmer goes through the box to Kravchuk. Side of the net to Roenick. Moves it back to Kravchuk. Now Chelios. It hopped away from him. And it's chopped into the crowd by Klima.
Pass a little too hot to handle. Kravchuk whipped it across to Chelios. Bill Ranford with 31 shots against now, 26 saves. Esa Tikkanen has really been a puzzlement for Ted Green. He's had 5 goals in this year's playoff. 3 of them were in one game. Another one was in an empty net, and the other was on a power play. He's only scored goals in 3 games this year in the playoffs, and he's been a non-factor in this series.
Ted Green also took pains to point out, though, Dale, that sometimes these athletes are asked to do an awful lot. He had reconstructive shoulder surgery that would have kept other people out of the lineup a lot longer than Tikkanen stayed out. And it's a situation where the player wants to play, thinks he's ready, but he's maybe not at full strength. And I think we both made the comment he seems to be affected by that shoulder problem. Without doubt, he is not the force and the pesky player that he normally would be. And that obviously a factor in his subpar play, but the Oilers badly in need of better production from a lot of their big stars, and a lot of guys playing only because bandages are holding them together. Tikkanen is one. He's got a pin in that shoulder, and it probably won't really be right until next season comes around. Hawks continue on the power play. Goulet got away from one man, then McTavish took it away and cleared. That'll do it for the Chicago power play. Both teams are now back at full strength with 9 minutes left in the third period. Cam Russell. He got knocked down by Richardson, and that results in an offside call against the Hawks. Half the third period gone. 5-1 Hawks.
The galaxy.
We have no weapons of any kind.
Isn't big enough.
What are we going to use for bait?
For the both of them.
It's here!
The biggest, baddest, best of them all. 4 stars. It's edge of your seat nail-biting time again. Stunning, a real roller coaster ride. Sigourney Weaver.
It has to die.
Alien 3, rated R. Starts tomorrow at theaters everywhere.
Pat Foley and Dale Talon in Edmonton, where the Blackhawks had a record of 1-7 in the playoffs before these games 3 and 4. And that record will have gotten a little bit better after the next 9 minutes go by. Or McIver deep in his own end. Vincent down boost. He put it to Nichols. Ernie Nichols in on Russell, whose long shot deflected wide by the Hawk defenseman. And Graham overskating it. Nichols got to it and missed Manson with the pass. Now Stu Grimson. Stopped by McIver at the Oiler line. Down Foose. Clears it ahead to Nichols. Nichols tied up by Marchment, had to throw it around the boards. Now Foose works the corner, but had it taken away by Roenick. Clearing it ahead, and Grimson kicks it into the Edmonton zone. Ryan Glynn is on it there. Moves it ahead to Mark Lamb. Then on Smith. Lamb stopping. Ran out of time as Smith got to him and pushes it back ahead. Hudson racing. He was hooked. Then Larmer chases after it. He'll be offside on the play as he was bumped over the blue line with 7.5 minutes left. 5-1 Hawks.
Crisp, clean. Old Spice. It puts the wind in your sails.
One of the Sutter brothers, Dwayne in there. Tommy Ivan in the Hawk box. What a wonderful gentleman, a Hockey Hall of Famer here enjoying the Blackhawk success.
81 years young.
Absolutely. Pleasure to be around. Now Thornton shoots it in. Steve Smith there. Around the boards to Marchment. He couldn't get it away from Glenn, who moves in and shoots. Foul with the glove. Holds it.
Marchment trying to bank it off the boards to take a rush. Didn't bank it firmly enough. Kept in by Glenn. Glenn with a big shot that Belfour puts the glove on. Marchment playing well tonight, getting a lot of ice time since the injury to Keith Brown. Did not play in the first period, but tried to get a little cute and get a rush up the ice, but Glenn wouldn't go for it. Belfour with a glove on it. That's the 19th shot of the night for Edmonton. Of the sold-out crowd leaving Northlands Coliseum.
the Chicago zone. All the way around the boards and out. How good has it again. Goulet able to put it in behind Ranford. How good, looking to wind it up for the Oilers. Goes into the spread at center ice and flips it into the Hawk zone. Buckberger knocked down along the boards and Goulet the other way. And shoot it in. The Hawks go for quick changes here down the stretch. And Buckberger was poke checked by Russell at center. Speaking of playing well, Cam Russell has had a much more ice time in this game than he's used to. But he has performed admirably at the Hawk line. Here's Joe Murphy with a shot, sailing just wide. And Brent Sutter will put it back into the Oilers zone. Kevin Lowe trying the breakaway pass. It just hopped away from Danfus, and he was yanked down, and there's going to be a penalty against the Hawks. Under 6 minutes to go, 5-2 Chicago.
Every year, British Airways brings 24 million people together. British Airways, the world's favorite airline.
Vincent Danfus had a chance to get to a loose puck. Belfour was out plenty of time. Marchman hooks him, and that'll be the penalty. Penalty at 14:15 to the third period. Oilers 0 for 3, 0 for 16, or 0 for 17 on the power play. Jimmy Waite, Dan Vincelette, the walking wounded. Vincelette recovering from a broken foot. Jimmy Waite back up to Dominic Hasek and Belfour, watching it in the French studio. What's the matter? Can't they understand our English?
Not many can. Here's the draw. Manson looking for Buckberger, clearing to the corner. Sutter couldn't get it away from Buckberger. Oh, a nice steal by Sutter, and he clears it. Greg McTavish able to send it in. Jelena behind the net, cut off there by Smith, and Buckberger came up with it. All three Oilers behind the Hawk goal. Now McTavish works against Chelios along the board. Then Jelena picks it out of there. Martin Jelena moves it to the line. Across to Manson, who broke his stick on the shot, dribbled to the net. Belfour sweeps it away, and Larmer able to battle his way to center before clearing it. A minute to go on the Oiler power play. David Maley lost it in traffic. Kravchuk clears it. Now Thornton dumping it in. Goulet on the far side, took a bump, then Noonan got the puck and cleared it just outside the line. Thornton barely unable to keep it in. The blueprint for the Stanley Cup Finals seems to be 3 days after the last game in the semis is played will be when the final series will begin. So the Hawks, here's a broom coming out of the stands onto the ice.
Jim Belushi make the trip up here?
But if the Pittsburgh Penguins should win their game tomorrow night, the Stanley Cup Finals would begin in the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh on Tuesday night. The Blackhawks and the Penguins finishing with the same number of points, 87 during the course of the year, but Pittsburgh had more wins, so they, by virtue of that, have home ice advantage if they should finish off the Bruins.
Rod John Busquets, the former Penguin, will probably be getting a chance. Frank Kuchera as well.
Half a minute for the Oiler power play. Chris Chelios got it to Smith, clearing. 4 minutes left in this one. Scott Nellenby unable to get it past Smith. Going to the Oiler line. Chicago penalty now is over, and both teams are back at full strength. Here's Steve Larmer. Working his way over the line, left it for Roenick, tees it up, shooting. He was hoping for a Larmer tip, but it didn't get to him. And the Oilers start back. Nellenby shoots it in. And the Hawks come right out of there with it. And Stu Crimson puts it into the Edmonton zone. And they rule that he had not reached center. So the icing call is made with 3 minutes to go.
And the Hawks have won 10 in a row after trailing 2-1 to St. Louis. They lost in double overtime in that game in the St. Louis Arena. They have been perfect since that time. And they are 3 minutes and 13 seconds away from their 11th consecutive victory in the playoffs, which is a new one-season record for consecutive wins in the playoffs. The Oilers had won 12, but they were in different seasons, 2 different seasons. The Hawks have used pretty well everybody in their organization to get to this point. Brad Lauer came in and did a job in St. Louis.
You're spending virtually all season in Indianapolis. Lauer really made a big contribution in the early part of the Stanley Cup playoffs, and may not be done yet. We'll see what develops in the finals. But you said it earlier. Keenan has said right along, you've got to have 28 to 30 guys if you're going to get through this grinding playoff schedule, which you play every other day. The Hawks doing themselves some major favors by completing 2 consecutive sweeps. Therefore, and being less susceptible to injury, less susceptible to fatigue. And the Blackhawks will await the Wales Conference champion. Pittsburgh will try to finish off that series tomorrow night in Boston Garden. Michel Goulet deep in his own end, able to clear it to center with 2 minutes remaining in this series and in the season for Edmonton. In 10 years, the Oilers have made it to this level, the Campbell Conference Championship. This year, they just ran into a buzzsaw. The Blackhawks at the top of their game. And the Oilers just did not have the answer. Without Bill Ranford being as spectacular as he was, almost every game might have been a blowout. The first one was 8-2. The other scores have been respectable, but somebody asked the question recently, has there ever been a Conn Smythe award winner who didn't make it to the Stanley Cup Finals? Well, if ever it was going to happen, this would be the year with the brilliant play of Ranford. That will not be the case. He will not win the Conn Smythe, but that's how good he's been. He has just been terrific. 1 minute left in the Oilers season. Marchment's going to get a penalty. He kicked at the feet of McTavish. Greg McTavish moving in. Dropped it to the deep slot. McIver to the backhand with a shot that didn't get through. And the Hawks control, and the whistle sounds. And one final power play here for the Oilers.
Ryan Marchment taking a run at McTavish, tried to take his knees out. Greg Gooney got a 2-game suspension for that. Campbell Conference trophy. First time the Blackhawks will get their names on that trophy since the different conferences were made. Mike Keenan will have his third trip to the finals as a coach, twice with Philadelphia, and now his first opportunity with the Chicago Blackhawks. Fans showing some class here, acknowledging the fine efforts of their Edmonton Oilers club. They've given them a lot of great moments in this building over the years, and I think they were surprised to get this far this year in a rebuilding situation.
Well, Glenn Saylor said it. He said this may be the most satisfying trip to the Final Four that his organization has ever had. Those other teams that got there were, generally speaking, loaded. This team, a hard-working bunch that really overcame many obstacles to reach this level. And now the remaining fans are standing and saluting the Oilers. Indeed, a little class being shown by the Oiler faithful. And this team does deserve a big hand. They just happened to run into a buzzsaw when the Hawks showed up. Greg McTavish, the Oiler power play to Jelen in the corner. Jelena out to the deep slot. McIver with a shot that's blocked by Graham. Held in by Manson. Threw it into the corner. The clock winds down, and the Chicago Blackhawks clear it. They are going to set an NHL record. No team has ever won 11 straight playoff games until now. And the Blackhawks will make their first appearance in the Stanley Cup Finals in 19 years. Ted Green congratulating Mike Keenan as the players on either team surround their goaltenders, offering congratulations. A happy group of Hawks around Ed Belfour. They will await the Wales champion as the Edmonton Oilers now begin the ceremonial handshakes. As the players, after fighting tooth and nail for the last 4 games, now will greet one another. And the Oilers, a classy group of individuals, and I don't imagine there'll be very much ill will, even though the play on the ice tonight in particular could have led to some problems. The Oilers really shooting themselves in the foot with getting carried away with some stick work. Really hurt themselves in the penalty department. But now, after it's all said and done, Steve Smith getting congratulations from many of the players that he sweat and bled with. As the handshakes continue, 10 playoff goals for Jeremy Roenick, including one tonight. He is on the verge of a Blackhawk record if he can get a couple of more in the finals. A 3-time winner of the Stanley Cup, Steve Smith, will have another crack here as a member of the Chicago organization. And let's go down to the ice where Ron McLean is standing by with some live interviews.
Thank you, fellas. Trying to get a smile out of you. Mike's not been easy. Well, I shouldn't say that. Through the mornings, you've been great, but I know tonight you must have been feeling a lot of pressure as the team built this huge lead and knowing what was at stake.
Well, certainly the part that you're worried about is injury at this point, but we played through some tough situations, a little bit of frustration, but to be expected. They're a proud organization. That's a tough situation for them, so we understood that and worked through it.
What are you most pleased about in going through Detroit and Edmonton the way you've done?
Well, obviously, as a coach, I have to be really pleased with the commitment our players have made to defense in particular, but overall commitment to excellence. I thought we played great defensive hockey and waited patiently for our opportunities offensively, and it's paid off.
Congratulations. Good luck in the final.
Thanks very much.
Dirk Graham. Dirk, could you come here? Team captain of the Hawks, and Steve Larmer's right here. Steve, I'll just get a quick reaction from you. Your feelings?
I'm totally excited. This is wonderful. This team worked extremely hard and has throughout the whole playoffs, and we have the opportunity now to play for the Stanley Cup, and that's all we wanted when it started.
Congratulations and good luck. Chris Chelios, thanks for waiting by. Here you are doing another interview with a sore lip. Well done. What do you think about this?
Edmonton's a team with a lot of tradition. I think we should be proud of ourselves the way we handled them. We give them a lot of credit. They didn't quit. And we're just happy to advance on to the finals now.
Tell me about your defensive partner, Steve Smith. I don't know if we've lost him or not, but here's a guy that came into the building. How has he been, and how did you deal with that? We spoke to him in the second intermission.
He reacted very well. I look back, and I think if I'd had to play a semifinal game in Montreal, I'd be nervous as heck. But Steve handled it great. He really composed out there. And, what can you say? It's great to play with.
Congratulations. Good luck in the Stanley Cup final. Jeremy Roenick, how about a word?
Well, we feel fantastic right now. We worked really hard this playoff so far. We're on a great roll, and we have to make sure that we stay respectful now. We have a lot of work to be done. We can take these next couple days to sit back and be glad of what we've done, but Pittsburgh's going to be really hard. We've got to be ready to go.
Your 10th goal was one of many that helped you get this far, 11 straight wins. Congratulations, Jeremy.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Jeremy Roenick of the Chicago Blackhawks. And there's Eddie Belfour of Carmen, Manitoba, doing an interview, so there's not much chance that I guess I can invade that front. But the Chicago Blackhawks have set a record for victories in one playoff year, and on the strength of that are going to the Stanley Cup. Now let's go back upstairs.
Thank you very much, Ron McLean. Indeed, 11 wins in a row with some very happy Hawk fans saluting their heroes as they surround the ramp where the Hawks head back into their locker room. And now they can indeed, as Jeremy Roenick said, sit back a little bit and take a look at the Wales Conference Series. And obviously the Hawks wouldn't mind if Boston was able to pick up a win or two. The Pittsburgh Penguins with a commanding 3-0 lead in that series.
Well, you do yourself a big favor. They won 4 straight, and I think it was a big plus with 8 days off between games against Edmonton as they had to battle 6 games against Vancouver, and now they're going to get the extra day rest. It'll be a happy flight home tomorrow, and then they'll get recharged, and it's good timing that if Pittsburgh does sweep, that they'll start right away. They want to get right at it. And another week off might be damaging because you might lose your timing and etc. So they've had a lot of time off. They're well rested, and there's a man that took a lot of heat at the beginning of the season for making some very unpopular moves as far as trades were concerned with some guys that have been here a long time. He took a lot of heat, but he built for this moment. He got players that were playoff ready and experienced, and it pays off in a huge way. He's done a marvelous job.
Well, listen, 106 points last year. First overall in the NHL. They messed it up in a bad 2 weeks of playoff competition, and the team dismantled 17 player trades made off of that squad that was best in the league for 6 months. I thought he was nuts. A lot of people thought he was nuts to break up a team the way he did, but he said right along that what he was trying to do was build for Game 81 this year. And you look at the moves he made. He made several deals that were not for the present but for the future, which the future now being the playoffs. You look at the Trent Yawney walkout. He acquired a guy, Stefan Matteau, who he knew wasn't even going to be able to play for a couple of months. You have a promiser, a very capable defenseman in Steve Conroy. You trade him because you thought you needed more offense. Conroy had been a very valuable part of the Hawk Blue Line Corps, but he traded him because he felt sure that he would get Igor Kravchuk eventually. There was a hole on the blue line for several weeks, maybe even a month or so, but he didn't feel that that was as important as getting some more offense for the playoffs. And look what Rob Brown has done. He made the deal with the New York Islanders against Brent Sutter and Brad Lauer. Everybody thought Lauer was going to be a non-factor, and yet he comes through in the postseason in a major way when he was called on. So he has achieved what he wanted to do.
Well, every move, I think, when he does make a move, there's always a purpose. There might be another move at hand that we're not aware of, and obviously we're not privy to that stuff, but it's paid off. He's touched all the right buttons, and the team has won 11 in a row, and that's very difficult to do in this day and age because of the parity. There's really not a dominant team in the league, and to win 11 in a row really tells you how great this team is playing at every aspect of the game. Their penalty killing, the Oilers had no goals and 18 power play chances.
This is the game-winning goal, as it turns out, the second of the game, which was scored by Jeremy Roenick. That on a 2-man advantage. It's his 3rd game winner of the playoffs. And the Blackhawks getting a couple of power play goals tonight to go along with that brilliant penalty killing that you mentioned, and penalty killing winning Game 3, or at least having a big factor in the victory in Game 3. And the Campbell Conference Trophy is about to be presented. Let's go down for that.
live downstairs now in the lower concourse with Sports Channel America and Hockey Night in Canada, together with the Executive Vice President of the NHL, Brian O'Neill, Chris Chelios, Dirk Graham, and Steve Larmer, the three captains of the Hawks. And Brian, I'd ask you to do the honors.
Thank you very much, Ron. I guess you're the designated hitter here, Dirk. Congratulations to you and your teammates for an incredible feat and coming through the way you did. And I'd like, on behalf of the league, to present you with the Clarence Campbell Trophy as the champions of the Campbell Conference. And I wish you the best of luck from here on in.
And Dirk, you want to make another quick acceptance speech? Congratulations.
On behalf of all the guys on our team, I'd like to thank you very much. And it was a team effort all the way around. We played hard. You don't beat the Edmonton Oilers without a great team effort with 20 guys. And we have a lot of respect for the guys in the other room. They played hard, and we were glad to come out on top. Thanks.
Congratulations. Dirk Graham, Steve Larmer, and Chris Chelios accepting the Clarence Campbell Conference Bowl, and my thanks to the Executive Vice President, Brian O'Neill. So that's the story. The Hawks win the game at the Northlands Coliseum, and on the strength of the winner, going on to the Stanley Cup Championship Final. Once again, let's return to the broadcast booths here at the Northlands Coliseum.
Well, congratulations, Steve Smith. This has got to be bittersweet in a way, having left Edmonton and coming back, and you really played marvelously considering how difficult it must have been to play in this building after so many marvelous years winning Stanley Cups with the Edmonton Oilers. This has got to be bittersweet.
Well, there's no doubt it was a difficult series for me. They played real well, and we needed an effort from 20 guys every night, and I guess it's a little bit special coming from here and being able to beat my old mates, but you know, in a way I kind of feel bad for them, but I'm definitely a Hawk now and doing what I can for the Hawks.
You and Chris Chelios, a marvelous tandem, Steve Smith. You seem to really feed off of each other. A brilliant playoff series together. What's the secret, do you think?
Well, I think we have confidence in each other, and we're not trying to do anything too fancy. I have a feel for what Chris is going to do for the puck, and I think he has a feel for what I'm going to do. And you know, we've had an opportunity to play the entire season together. There's been very few games when we haven't played together, and when you play that long together, you get a bit of a knack for things, and things fortunately have worked out.
Steve, you're doing yourselves a big favor, winning 4 straight against Detroit to get the 8 days off. That really, and now 4 straight against the Edmonton Oilers. You and Jelly both play about 35 minutes a game. That's got to be a big plus for you going into the finals.
Well, there's no doubt a little bit of rest is going to help us. We're going to get a flight back to Chicago tomorrow morning and spend a couple days with our families and get ourselves back on track again, and definitely watch that game tomorrow night and see who we're going to be up against.
Steve, your total team has had such a commitment to restraint. Obviously, the lessons learned of a year ago were very painful at the time, but it seems like, I don't know how much you talk about it, but everybody was able to bite the bullet right through this series and the last couple of series. Every time somebody took a stick to you, guys seemed to turn away and bite the bullet.
Well, I think it was a great learning experience for the guys that were here in the past, but there was an awful lot of guys that weren't here in the past, and at some point in time during our learning curve of our careers, we've gone through something like that and had to deal with that type of adversity where you had to bite your ego, bite your lip, and do what you could to help your team win a game. Sometimes you have to take a hit, take a punch to make the play, and I'll tell you, we had a marvelous job from everyone doing that. We stayed out of the box and stayed disciplined completely to this point.
Well, you've got an awful lot of people back in Chicago very excited. Congratulations from upstairs as well. And take those couple of days and as well deserved, and get ready for the big final.
Thanks very much, Pat.
Steve Smith, former Oiler, now a Blackhawk. He has experienced tasting champagne out of the Stanley Cup more than once. And that experience, obviously, one of the things that Mike Keenan was looking for when he acquired that man.
Well, you talked about, he said it right. He said he wasn't here last year. We had a lot of guys that weren't here. They didn't care about what happened last year. They only cared about what was going to happen this year. And they realized that these guys from winning organizations, you can't take stupid penalties and win Stanley Cups. We saw Detroit lose their control. We saw St. Louis lose their composure. And now we see the Edmonton Oilers do so, a very proud team. So the Blackhawks really playing marvelously at every end and also keeping their composure, which has been a big plus for them.
Well, I think we also have another Blackhawk star downstairs. Jeremy Roenick is plugged in, and JR, the face looks a little better than the last time we saw at the end of a series, but it's got to be a very gratifying feeling going through you right now.
It's fantastic, Pat. We couldn't be more happy with ourselves. We're on a tremendous run right now. We have to make sure we stay respectful. We can have a good time now. We have a couple of days off, watch the other series, and just get ready to go to the finals.
Jeremy Roenick, you become a game-winning goal machine. 13 in the regular season. Now you get credit again tonight for winning goal. 3 more game-winning goals. What is it?
I don't know. I think it's just a chance. I mean,
you know, you get in the right situations at the right time, and the other team gets the right amount of goals, I guess. It's just one of those things. I don't know what it is, but we have a lot of guys in this team that can score game winners, and for some reason they're just being magnetized to me. I don't know, but I'll take them whoever takes them.
Jeremy, you've said you've won at every level that you've played hockey in, and I guess this has got to be pretty exciting for you going into the final.
Well, it's fantastic. It's like a dream come true so far. All the guys are very excited. You should see what the locker room looks like right now. It's just absolute pandemonium. It's fantastic. We got that Campbell Conference Cup sitting right in the middle, and guys are pouring beer and everything into it. It's just fantastic, and we're having a good time right now. But we still we realize we have another series to go. That we're in for a very tough series with whoever that we play, and we have to make sure that we're ready to go.
Any preference as far as the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Boston Bruins?
Not at all. I think we just have to make sure we stay in our confidence that right now we have to make sure that we're ready to go ourselves. I think, you know, if we're up on top of our game and we keep playing like we are, I think we'll be all right.
The Campbell Conference Trophy is a very beautiful one. Now go take a look and enjoy it. I think, though, there might be one other you're looking for.
Well, that's the one that we're going for, and that's next. And I just want to tell all the Chicago fans we're coming back and going for the cup.
Congratulations. No team has ever won 11 straight postseason games. You guys have. You're a big part of that. Go enjoy yourself.
All right, Pat and Dale, I appreciate it, and we'll see you guys soon.
Okay, kid, just a couple of more days before the Blackhawks will take on whoever the Wales Conference representative is, and apparently, as we said earlier, the magic number seems to be 3 days after the last game. So if Pittsburgh should wrap it up tomorrow night, that series would begin in the Igloo on Tuesday night. And how close is it? The point total the same between Chicago and Pittsburgh, but by virtue of more wins, the Penguins are going to have a very important home ice advantage.
Well, you don't care at this juncture. I don't think it really has that much of an effect. Obviously, it'd be a positive factor for the Blackhawks because of this smaller ice surface, the 15-foot differential in the neutral zone, which they can really take to their advantage. But you're in the finals. You'd play it on a pond if you had to, and it doesn't matter. And the Blackhawks have shown they can play on any ice surface. They dominated Detroit in a big Joe Louis arena, and they dominate the Oilers in a big Northlands Coliseum. So I don't think it'll have any effect whatsoever.
It's been 19 years since the Chicago team made it to the Stanley Cup Finals. It's been over 30 years, over 3 decades since the Hawks had tasted the sweet champagne of the Stanley Cup. And the Blackhawks need just 4 more wins to be able to do that this season. A couple of more Hawk heroes, I believe, are downstairs and hooked up. I think Rob Brown, there they are, Rob Brown and Michel Goulet. I don't know if Gou can hear us, but Robbie, congratulations. An excellent game once again tonight, and you told us the other night how sweet it must feel. How much better is this?
Well, this is unbelievable. My father flew in today for the game. It's the first time he's seen me play in a long time and playing in my home rink, and it's just excitement. I wanted to go out there and have a good game, and everything just seemed to fall in place for us.
Congratulations, Robbie. Michel, you said in the paper that you're not getting any younger, though you feel a lot younger, and you're running out of days to get this opportunity. This has got to be a tremendous feeling for you with the finals.
Oh, it is for sure. You know, I've been waiting 14 years, and I think this year is the year. And with all the effort the player put this year, and I think we got a good shot at it.
Michel, had to be very tough for you. Last year you missed the playoffs because of an injury. You start off these first few playoff rounds without any action, and all of a sudden you get a chance to play against the Edmonton Oilers. It's got to be a good feeling for you finally to get some action and to do well besides.
Yeah, you know, I was a little bit frustrating. You know, in the last couple of years I was injured, and that was pretty tough, you know, but you know, it's kind of nice just to be there and try to help your teammates to win. And you know, I had a chance to play with good players, and I think our line tonight with Rob and Brian Noonan, we had a great game, and it's kind of nice to win a big game like that.
The power play working extremely well. We talked about it, Michel, last night, that you really enjoyed playing with Rob Brown and Brian Noonan. What is it about those two fellas that makes it enjoyable?
Well, first of all, you know, they make the good play all the time. You know, they know what they're doing on the ice, and it's kind of nice. You know, we help each other, and I think so far, you know, everything is great. You know, we're playing on the power play together, and everything is great right now.
Well, Rob Brown, the father's got the Memorial Trophy, and you'd probably like to do one up on him and win the Stanley Cup, wouldn't you?
No doubt. My dad won the Memorial Cup a couple of weeks ago, but if we win the Stanley Cup, I'd like to compare rings with him. I think ours is going to be bigger.
Fellas, go enjoy yourselves, and I'm sure there's a lot of celebrating going on, and we look forward to the Stanley Cup Finals. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Rob Brown and Michel Goulet enjoying the sweet taste of victory as they will go join their teammates now surrounding the Campbell Cup trophy that sits in the middle of the Chicago Blackhawk locker room. We're going to hear in just a moment now from the coach and general manager of the Blackhawks, Mike Keenan, who is downstairs and getting ready to get plugged in, I believe. But the Blackhawks just getting ready for the Stanley Cup Finals, and I mentioned it before, I wouldn't imagine they would be too upset if Boston could steal a game or two and make the Penguins work that much harder.
Well, sure, they would love to see Boston win 1 or 2 hockey games, and I guess at this juncture it really doesn't matter, but sure, they'll take anything they can get, and if Pittsburgh wins, they'll be happy to go and play. It doesn't matter, as we said, any ice surface, any team, as long as you get the chance to go for it, and Mike Keenan is going to have his 3rd opportunity, and he went within 1 goal in Game 7 against the Edmonton Oilers with the Philadelphia Flyers, so he's got to be elated.
Well, Mike is downstairs, and Mike Keenan, the coach and GM of the Hawks, big smile. There you go, that away. And
yeah, this is not sweat, believe me. Palouse will give me one of those Gatorade dunkings when he came through the door, so it was a great feeling.
Well, Mike, I'll tell you, we mentioned it on the air toward the end of the game. I, for one, thought you were nuts making 17 trades from a 106-point team, but you had one thing in mind all along, that was to have postseason success. It must be a very, very sweet feeling for you now to answer your many critics in Chicago.
Well, I've said it before. I've never had a vindictive feeling about the criticism I took. I understood that people wouldn't really understand why we made the trades, or they wouldn't be able to see the results of those trades until springtime. We had confidence in the people that we were acquiring. And certainly when you make that many trades, questions have to be asked, and we were prepared to stand by them. And it wasn't just Mike Keenan. Certainly I had an impact on those, but our management team and our coaching staff, Darryl Sutter in particular, we hung in there together through a lot of tough times, and it's paid off for us.
You have to be so proud of your hockey team, not only for 11 straight wins, but the way you have won, the way your team has bit the bullet whenever the opposition would get a little stick work going. Your guys turned the other cheek and took one for the team, and because of that, you've stressed it all year long. It has to be a very proud moment.
Well, it really is, and that's been a real big key for us. A learning season, I suppose, last year at this time. It was part of the reason why we weren't successful in the spring, and the great thing is that we've been students of our mistakes and learned from it. And again, the discipline was exemplified tonight in a very tough situation. Some frustration, which is understandable on the behalf of the Edmonton Oilers, but we worked ourselves through it, maintained our composure, and came away with a huge victory, and to set a record for National Hockey League victories in postseason play. I'm very, very pleased, obviously, but extremely proud and happy for these people, because they're great people to work with, and it's been just a joy for me. Of all the criticism, I guess, that we did receive all year, the solace in the whole thing was that our players stood by us, and we really enjoyed the season together.
Mike, the players talked about keeping their composure and being disciplined because of what happened last year. It looked to me like Mike Keenan also had a little more composure and more patience behind the bench.
Well, I certainly had a lot more patience this year, and to this date, and hopefully we'll continue in that regard. And as I said, I had a great deal of trust for these players that we acquired. They're winning people, they're winners in their own right. We knew where they were coming from, we knew what we were getting. And there was a good relationship between ourselves, the coaching staff, myself, and our team. And I think it's been the most enjoyable season I've had. Although we had some ups and downs in terms of our performance for the overall season, and had a lot of people doubting us. But as I said, the coaches and the management team didn't deviate from what we were trying to do. Our owner, Mr. Bill Wirtz, hung in there with us and let us try to make the best decisions we possibly could, and we had great support from Poley and Jack Davison, and it's worked out well for us.
Mike, the strike situation, we talked about it, looked like the season was done and over, and all of a sudden you go from the outhouse to the penthouse. It's really an amazing turnaround.
Well, I thought the season was over, and I've said it before, the court case in Minnesota made the difference, but it gave our players a chance to have a rest that they probably needed. We have more players who participate in the Canada Cup Series than any other club in the league. And as a result, we've been able to get rest during that period of time, but also during our time off between the last series and this series. After our Detroit victory, it was big rest for us as well, and we were able to train and use that time effectively, and it's helped us carry us through this series as well.
I know it's difficult to look ahead. Obviously, you'd like to see Boston extend the series so that Pittsburgh will get tired, but it looks to me like Pittsburgh is the team that you'll probably play. What do you look forward to?
Well, it's never over till it's over, so I wouldn't even attempt to answer that question because I have a lot more respect for people in Boston to say that they may not win tomorrow night. That'll be determined either by Pittsburgh or Boston. I have a lot of respect for Pittsburgh as well. They're the defending champions, and they're showing some of the reasons right now why they are. But they're in the Boston Garden. That's a tough place to win a hockey game, and when that's decided, then we'll make some comments regarding the winner.
What's the magic number?
The last time I checked, it was 4.
That Campbell Conference Trophy is a very pretty one. Go enjoy it with your team, but there's a little other bit of hardware I don't imagine you, I would imagine you'd like to see.
Well, that's for sure. We're again, proud of our accomplishments. The fellows have to be extremely pleased, and we have to commend them for their efforts to come away with this number of consecutive games is an unbelievable feat for any group of athletes, and they have pride in their work and confidence in their teammates. And this trophy is a nice trophy, but the one we're after, hopefully we can be able to somehow reach that level in the next 2 weeks.
Well, certainly we offer our congratulations from upstairs, Mike, a guy who is certainly willing to put the reputation on the line, making some bold and very at times controversial moves, but you're the guy that can certainly enjoy it all now. And congratulations, take a day or two, and get ready for the big finals.
Thanks very much.
Okay, Mike Keenan, the coach and GM, who the architect of this Blackhawk team in many ways, who will enjoy with his players that Campbell Conference Trophy back in the Hawk locker room. And we'll be back here to Edmonton in just a moment.
Got a little bit of unfinished business to take care of here. First of all, our Old Spice play of the game. We went with the first goal of the game, and it was a play made by Steve Smith. He carried the puck all the way up. Got a shot off on Bill Ranford, then Rob Brown there to home to poke in the rebound. You get the drift. Hawks had the lead 1-0. They go on to win it tonight. The player of the game, we go with Rob Brown as well. 1 goal, 2 assists. He wins the Bud player of the game back-to-back. First guy to do it all year.
How much car can you get for just $3.99 per month? How about the ultimate in Buick luxury, Park Avenue, leased at just $3.99 per month for only 36 months. $3.99 for the car Consumer's Digest ranks a best buy. $3.99 for the car rated best overall American car value. You save over $2,300, and that includes driver's side airbag and anti-lock brakes. Now, whether you lease or buy, Buick quality is a better value than ever. See your better Buick dealer today.
Lifetime Television can help your business profits soar. Providing quality entertainment and information programming, Lifetime targets women with real purchasing power. By advertising locally on Lifetime Television, only on cable, you'll be reaching the desirable audience of women 18 to 49. Women who are active consumers. Reach the 90s woman and help your business grow. Advertise locally on Lifetime Television, the network women are watching.
Welcome to the Heidelberger Fass restaurant, where you will find the most authentic German and American food in the Chicagoland area. For over 46 years, the Heidelberger Fass has served generations of customers the most flavorful and wholesome German and American food. We only use the freshest ingredients. Everything is homemade right here in our own kitchens by European-trained chefs. Visit us at the Heidelberger Fass. Your home away from home, 4300 Lincoln Avenue, 1 block south of Montrose.
The Campbell Conference Trophy is on its way to Chicago as the Blackhawks will await the Wales winner to embark in the Stanley Cup Finals. And I've certainly been to the Final Four a couple of times, never seen a Stanley Cup final game in person. I can't wait, partner.
That's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited as a former player and not having the chance to win it, and now having the chance to watch it and talk about it. It's really exciting. It's obviously a better feeling if you're a player, but it's going to be fantastic, and it should be a great series no matter who they play.
Get ready, Hawk fans. The Hawks are in the finals. First time in 19 years. They have a chance to win their first cup in 3 decades. Tonight's game will be followed by Sports Channel Report with Jim Blaney on television and on WBBM Hawkline with Darren Pang and Brian Davis. And the Hawks are in the Stanley Cup Finals. You can catch all the Hawk home games on Hawkvision. Call your local cable company, or if you have a satellite dish, call Primetime 24, 1-800-248-2028. Call in advance and save. And again, all Hawk road games, of course, will be on Sports Channel and BBM Radio. Check your local listing for dates and times. Now for Dale Talon, this is Pat Foley, hoping you enjoyed the broadcast. We know you enjoyed the outcome, which was Chicago 5, Edmonton 1. The Hawks have won 11 straight games, setting an NHL record. The Hawks are the Campbell Conference champions. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of Sports Channel.
Sports Channel's exclusive playoff coverage of Chicago Blackhawks hockey is brought to you in part by the Discover Card. It pays to discover, the card that pays you back. By Bud Light, everything else is just a light. By your Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana Toyota dealers. Toyota, I love what you do for me. By Old Spice deodorant. It kills odor-causing bacteria on contact, 99%. By RCA ColorTrack 2000 Home Theater TV. RCA, changing entertainment again. And by Northwest Airlines. Some people just know how to fly.
The Bud Light spotlight is rolling into Chicago, and that means you could be the star of a Bud Light commercial. Just look for the Bud Light magic truck and the Bud Light film crew. And get ready to see your name in lights.
Mid-Con Baseball Madness hits high gear with the championship game. Tune in Saturday at noon when the Midwest Best battle it out for the conference title. Find out who will emerge #1. It's the Mid-Con Baseball Championship, Saturday at noon, here on Sports Channel.
At Kitchen Gallery.
The Blackhawks are on their way to the Stanley Cup Finals following tonight's 5-1 win over the Edmonton Oilers. The Hawks win the series 4-0. One more note on this win tonight, because it was kind of a historic night for Mike Keenan. He becomes only the second coach in NHL history to win both the Prince of Wales Trophy and the Clarence Campbell Trophy. The other coach to do it, a former Blackhawk coach, Billy Ray. Now, we're going to assume for a moment here that the Pittsburgh Penguins are somehow able to win one more game out of their next 4 contests against the Boston Bruins. That would set up a Pittsburgh-Chicago Stanley Cup final, and lifetime against the Pittsburgh Penguins, the Hawks have had a pretty decent time of it. 55, 30, and 14 lifetime. In Chicago, the Blackhawks have only lost 8 games. In the playoffs, the two teams have only met one time in a series. The Blackhawks swept that series in 1972, 4-0. Now, this year against the Penguins, the Hawks went to Pittsburgh on October 22nd, and the game was a 4-4 tie. March 15th, the Blackhawks lost at home 4-3, and at the time, it didn't really seem like that big of a game, but as it turns out, this was a huge game. In that game, the Blackhawks had a 3-1 third-period lead, but could not hang on to the lead. It was the Blackhawks' first loss in 13 games, first loss at home in 13 games. And as it turns out, if the Blackhawks would have even been able to hang on for a tie in that game, the Blackhawks would have had home ice advantage in the Stanley Cup Finals if the Blackhawks do indeed meet Pittsburgh. But once again, Boston would have to rally from a 3-0 deficit, something a team has only done twice in Stanley Cup action, that is rally from 3-0 down to win the series. As for the schedule, now this is where it gets a little strange. If the Penguins wrap things up tomorrow night against the Boston Bruins, Game 3 would be on Hawkvision on Saturday, May 30th. That would be the first game at the stadium. As for the games on Sports Channel, the games in Pittsburgh would be here. Game 1 and Game 2, Tuesday and Thursday of the Stanley Cup Finals. Those are the dates if the Penguins go on and sweep that series. Incidentally, the Penguins and the Bruins, Game 4 of their series can be seen tomorrow night on Sports Channel Plus, beginning at 6 o'clock. And, of course, you can order Hawkvision. You know there's going to be some games. Go ahead and order the next round. You can save if you order the entire round. You can save $3 a game if you call your local cable company and tell them you want the entire round of home games in the Stanley Cup Finals brought into your very living room. Ironically, the Blackhawks won the game tonight over the Edmonton Oilers by a final score of 5-1. That was the same score of the cup-clinching game in 1961 when the Blackhawks played the Detroit Red Wings. The Hawks won that series 4-2. In Game 6 in the first period, Glenn Hall made some great saves to keep the score at 0-0 until the Blackhawk offense could get it cranked up. Detroit scored the first goal of the game. Then Reggie Fleming got the first goal for the Blackhawks. That tied things up at 1-1. Later on with the score still tied 1-1, Ab McDonald gives the Blackhawks the lead 2-1. That would turn out to be the cup-winning goal, but the Blackhawks weren't quite done yet. Eric Nestorenko ends up getting a goal that would put the Blackhawks up by a score of 3-1. And then with the Hawks leading by a score of 3-1, Jack Evans picks up the loose puck, streaks toward the net, and scores to give the Blackhawks a comfortable 4-1 lead. The Blackhawks celebrate their Stanley Cup victory back in 1961. They beat the Detroit Red Wings in Game 6 of the Stanley Cup Finals. The final score in that one was 5-1. That was at the Olympia. The Blackhawks did not win the Stanley Cup in their own rink that year when they beat Detroit to get the Stanley Cup. Just a reminder, coming up around the corner, Ken Harrelson and Tom Paciorek will be along with tonight's White Sox game. The Sox take on the Toronto Blue Jays. We're done here for now. We'll be back with more Stanley Cup action when the Hawks hook up in the finals against either the Pittsburgh Penguins or the Boston Bruins. Until then, I'm Jim Blaney. We'll see you in the Stanley Cup Finals.
You're watching Sports Channel, Chicago's playoff headquarters.
If you're crazy about sports, then you'll love Sports Channel.